a job that I love. At Wheeler, you can have something everlasting.
Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
It's a comfortable, cloudy mid-September day as we welcome you to the northeast side of Indianapolis as two ranked 2A foes clash on the gridiron right here on IndianaSRN as the Eastern Hancock Royals have made the trip from Charlottesville to take on the Heritage Christian Eagles. Hi, everybody. Cruz Martin alongside my partner, John Lester. John, these are two teams that are ranked in the 2A Class A poll, I should say, the 2A poll. Top 10, both of these teams are in. The Royals 8th, the Eagles 9th. Both of these teams looking to get back in the win column as well.
Yeah, both teams suffering losses last week. Eastern Hancock, that heartbreaking loss to Centerville last week, giving up that long drive there at the end of that ball game, and Heritage Christian took the loss to a very, very good Guerin Catholic team. So two teams looking to right the ship here, and this should be a good one here tonight.
We'll start off with Eastern Hancock. We'll look at the Royals first. You mentioned that loss to Centerville this past weekend, 29-26. John, this is a team that averaged 49 points coming into that game. They were held to a season-low 26.
Yeah, held to a season-low 26, and we were talking before the game about how much they got handled on the rushing game as well, only rushing for less than 60 yards after averaging about 300 yards rushing in their first two games. So, yeah, Centerville really took it to them defensively.
You mentioned that Eastern Hancock likes to run the ball, but you were also impressed by what their defense has to provide as well.
I am, yeah. Their defense has forced 9 turnovers in 3 games, and I guarantee you Coach Ray of Heritage Christian was addressing that with his team here. So, yeah, averaging 3 turnovers forced a game. Very, very good defensive team here on this Eastern Hancock side.
And after having their first gut check, per se, of the season, this is where you see where your team is made of. You're facing a top 10 team in Class 2A, and this will be a really good test for Eastern Hancock.
Yeah, team that Eastern Hancock really well. You mean this is the 7th time these two teams have met, and they have yet to beat Heritage Christian. Heritage Christian's won all 6 previous meetings, so you know Eastern Hancock's really wanting to get that monkey off their back here tonight as well.
And they're led by their quarterback, Elijah Eden. He loves the run game. We'll talk about our next highlight player that goes along with that. He has been interception prone in the past, though. When he does have to pass, 18 career interceptions. He averages about 8 a season coming into this year. So if Heritage Christian is able to force them into passing situations, it might be the advantage for the Eagles.
Definitely, because he is also the team's second leading rusher as well. So he's been counted for 11 touchdowns this year. But yeah, Heritage Christian I think will be very comfortable if they can get Eden into a passing situation and not have him beat him on the running game.
Well, if Elijah Eden's their bread, Mark Koob would be their butter, and that's their running back. He averaged over 175 yards through their first 2 games. However, he was held to 14 total yards against Centerville this past weekend. He's going to be looking for a big bounce-back game tonight as well.
Yeah, you know that. Coob's going to remember that. Yeah, averaging, like you said, about 180 yards rushing their first 2 games, getting held to 14 last week against a very, very good Centerville defense. He's wanting to right the ship offensively tonight as well.
And they're led by head coach Pat Echeverria in his 6th season total with Eastern Hancock and his 2nd stint with the Royals. In his 14th overall season, his career record 70-82. He spent time at Eastern Hancock originally, left to go coach at Zionsville and then his alma mater, Pike High School, before finally returning to coach the Royals for the last couple of seasons. And what a terrific job he has done with the Royals in his 6 seasons there. We'll take a quick step aside, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the Heritage Christian Eagles on the other side of this break. You're watching IHSAA Football on IndianaSRN.
To you. standing with us. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Welcome back to Indiana SRN. We're previewing Eastern Hancock and Heritage Christian. We already talked about the Royals. Let's talk about the Eagles now. They come in at 2-1, coming off their first loss of the season, and a blowout loss at that to Garin Catholic, a really good football team, John.
Yeah, definitely. Garin Catholic, I saw them earlier this year. That is a very, very good team, and I think a team that has a chance to make a very, very deep run in the IHSAAF football playoffs this year.
They won by nearly 3 scores. Now, obviously, the Eagles looking to rebound tonight. Tough loss, but again, this is where you see what your team's made of. They have to face, they are at home, but they have to face one of the best teams in 2A football.
Yeah, Eastern Hancock, definitely wants to get that win against Heritage Christian tonight. I'm anxious to see how Heritage Christian plays this, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But Elijah Pimental, I think, is going to be a big dose of the offense and someone that Eastern Hancock's really going to be focusing on because this has been a very run-heavy team this year so far.
That's right. He'll wear number 5 for the Eagles tonight, 84 yards away from eclipsing the 2,000 yards rushing mark for his career. He recorded nearly 1,400 yards last season. He's already over 500 yards through his first 3 games this season. He's been quite impressive so far.
Yeah, I had watched him in week 1 here on SRN against Covenant Christian. Very, very good player, Pimental, and Eli Nix as well can do it on the running game. Their quarterback, he's also a dual threat quarterback, so we'll see. He hasn't done a whole lot of passing this year, Nix. They've been relying on the running game, so we'll see how that plays out as well.
He's only 75 yards away. Eli Nix is their quarterback from eclipsing his 2,000th yard passing as well. He likes to rely on the run game. 70% of the total yards for this season for Heritage Christian has come on the ground, but he has a couple of receivers he likes to go to.
Yeah, Noah Dearman, definitely his go-to receiver there. He's been responsible for a touchdown this year. So if Eastern Hancock can get an early lead in this game and have Heritage Christian go with the passing game, which they haven't had a whole lot of experience with this year, I think that's what's going to be the big key tonight.
And they're led by head coach Kyle Gant in his 9th season with the Eagles, a 59-29 overall record, 2-time sectional champion back in 2019. And then the following year in 2020, we're about 3 minutes away from kickoff. We'll take another step aside and return on the other side of this break. Eastern Hancock, Heritage Christian coming up next on Indiana SRN.
Piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements and top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com. Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Indiana SRN is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is a leading equipment dealer since 1955. Passion to care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. Boilermaker Local 374. Boilermaker Local 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Burtner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group, we're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Northwestern Mutual, inspiring people to repeatedly take action on their financial goals. Indiana Laborers District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with the Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LeUna. And the Indiana SRN sports page. Follow the sports page every day with updated news from coast to coast. Log on at IndianaSRN.com and click on our tab. Today's broadcast is a copyright production of Indiana SRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written permission of Indiana SRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. Well, we're just about ready to have the coin toss. Cruz Martin alongside my partner, John Lester, as Heritage Christian is set to welcome the Eastern Hancock Royals. This is a matchup that has been relatively one-sided over the last couple of years. They've only had 6 matchups prior to tonight, but Heritage Christian has dominated the series.
Yeah, 6-0. Eastern Hancock yet to beat this team. It was a close game last year, 24-20, one of the closer games here between these two teams. So you definitely know Eastern Hancock wants to get that monkey off their back against this Heritage Christian team tonight. That's eluded them so far the first 6 meetings.
And speaking of Heritage Christian, John, we wanted to talk a little bit more about the run game separate from the passing game during the break, and that's what we'll do right now for Heritage Christian. We talked about the running back Elijah Pimenthal, but we also talked about the slew of wide receivers and the options that Eli Nix has for the Eagles.
Yeah, definitely. And, we want to talk about it. And with the keys, running game. I guarantee you that's what Coach Echevarria of the Eastern Hancock's telling the team. We have got to stop this running game because it's a very, very good run game for Heritage Christian. But as you said, if they can get into the mix and passing game, Nix does have Dearman and those great wide receivers as well. So Heritage Christian can mix it up here at times if they want to.
Both teams out there at center field will have the coin toss here momentarily. You can see Heritage Christian there on the left. They'll be wearing their black uniforms, very sleek with the blue and white complementary colors. And then Eastern Hancock in the road whites with their light gray, maybe white helmets. And we'll see what happens with the coin toss. And from there, we should be ready to get underway momentarily. John, let's talk about some keys for both of these teams. We mentioned that both of these teams are very run-heavy. Is that going to be the sole thing that's going to decide this game, which defense can step up?
It could be one of those factors where Eastern Hancock can also mix the power. Are they going to try and get Heritage Christian off guard? Are they going to try and throw a little bit more of the passing game in tonight? That's going to be very interesting to see if Eastern Hancock kind of mixes it up offensively.
You see Eastern Hancock going back to the sideline. They're getting ready to go. This is a top 10 matchup in our IndianaSRN polls. We'll take one quick step aside, and we will return with the kickoff from the northeast side of Indianapolis. The Royals taking on the Eagles next on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements and top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com. Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is a leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors in and throughout Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give us a call today at 317-849-0810. We're just about ready for the kickoff here from the northeast side of Indianapolis as Heritage Christian matches up with Eastern Hancock in a top 10 matchup here this afternoon on IndianaSRN. Heritage Christian won the coin toss. They have elected to receive the first half kickoff. They'll defer the second half kickoff to Eastern Hancock.
Yeah, a little bit unusual there. More times than not, you see teams defer there and go the second half, but Heritage Christian wants that ball first and wants to get on the board and try to deliver the first punch here early.
In our IndianaSRN polls, Eastern Hancock is ranked 8th. Heritage Christian one spot behind them at 9th. It's a top 10 matchup here on this Friday night in early September. And it should be a fantastic matchup for you here on IndianaSRN, one of many games that are going on throughout the state and on our networks here tonight. We're so happy that you've decided to join us for our game here this evening. Eastern Hancock will take the field. They'll be ready to kick it off. And off to the left in their dark uniforms, Heritage Christian set to receive the kickoff and get this game underway. Here to kick it away for Eastern Hancock, Evan Wheeler, the 5'10 junior. He'll put a boot into this one to get this game going on this homecoming night here at Heritage Christian High School. There's the kick, and we're underway from the 26-yard line. Breaking a couple of tackles before being taken down. Isaac Pimental, the brother of Elijah Pimental, on the reception.
Yeah, we're going to get an early dose here. Heritage Christian fell into that early hole last week. They didn't want to do that again. That's why I think part of the reason they want to receive this football first. Next, anxious to see if they go right to Pimental on this opening drive. Good starting field position.
This is our first look on the night for Eli Nix, the quarterback, as well as his right-hand man in the backfield, Elijah Pimental. Royals will start out on defense, and now the Eagles will get set up. And it's actually Isaac Pimental, the back out there wearing number 30, getting the first snap of the game in the backfield. Nix takes the snap. Looking downfield, has a receiver ahead of him. It's complete. Andrew Sloan on the reception. Makes it out to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, and the other Pimental brother getting the early start here, but you see you see Nix going to the air on that first down play.
Nix this past weekend went 16 for 28 passing for 152 yards, recorded 2 touchdowns. Did, however, throw an interception in that game against Guerin Catholic, a game in which the Eagles lost by 19. 2nd and 6 from the 46. Nix will hold on to it. Tries to run up the middle. Doesn't have a whole lot of daylight. He'll get about an additional yard on top of what he had already.
Yeah, great job there by Eastern Hancock, sensing that run and sending a very, very small gain here and an early third down chance here.
First third down opportunity for Heritage Christian offensively, and the first chance to try to get the Eagles off the field for the Royals defense. A couple of receivers split out. Now they'll relay back to the sideline. Isaac Pimental the back. Nix the snap. Has pressure coming. He's trying to escape it. Has a lane to throw, and it's complete for a first down. And it was Isaac Pimental on the reception. It'll be first down and 10 for the Eagles.
Wow, right when it looked like they had Nix down there and was going to be a 3 and out, Nix finds his running back Pimental. So we look at the replay here. Nix just doesn't know, avoids that sack and senses Pimentel and gets a very important first drive, first down here.
Garrett Shaw was able to push him out of bounds, but not before they were able to make first down yardage. The handoff, Isaac Pimentel again getting pushed back this time.
Right there defensively was Eastern Hancock and limiting Pimentel. In fact, might have lost a yard on that first down play.
Very interesting to not see Elijah Pimentel, the starting back typically for this Eagles team, not on the field to start the game. Instead, it's his brother Isaac who's getting the nod on the start here today. Nix up the field, caught. Down near the 30-yard line, Andrew Sloan gets down to the 20 before he's finally dragged down. Garrett Shaw there on the stop. Another first down for the Eagles.
There we see Nixon getting it done on the passing game on this opening drive as we look down here, and he sees his receiver get open down the field, and early on it's a red zone chance for Heritage Christian.
Good first possession for the Eagles. They've already converted on third down one time. It's first down and 10. The handoff. No, it's Nix on a keeper. Out to the near side and hardly gets any positive yardage.
Somebody losing their helmet defensively here is going to have to come out for a play.
Ethan Carter losing his helmet. He's going to have to sub out for a moment. Carter, the 6'3 senior, this past weekend was able to record 4 total tackles and had a sack to his name in that game against Centerville. Again, both of these teams coming off their first losses of the season still remain in the top 10 in the IndianaSRN polls. Both teams trying to get back into the win column. One will be successful tonight. Another will not. Screen pass, far side. Ball is caught. Noah Dearman on the reception. Cuts it back to the end zone. Touchdown. Heritage Christian gets on the board on their first drive. It took them 7 plays, and they marched 58 yards to the house.
That is as good of an opening drive as you could ask for Heritage Christian, and Dearman finishes it off here, getting the screen pass from Nix, and he does the rest. Basically untouched into the end zone and an early lead for Heritage.
Isaac Pimentel will be right back out there to attempt this PAT. And look who's going to be holding it for him, his quarterback, Eli Nix. Snap back perfect. The kick perfect as well. Heritage Christian off to about as an ideal start as you could have asked for the Eagles. They lead 7-0 over Eastern Hancock. We'll take a quick step aside and return on the other side of this break as the Royals will have the football when we come back on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Northeast Indianapolis. On the board first, Heritage Christian. They march 58 yards over the course of 7 plays, capped off by a Noah Dearman touchdown. And now the Eastern Hancock Royals will get their first stab on the offensive side of the ball. Kick is up and away, and this one will be received inside the 6-yard line. On the return, not too bad, out to just about the 30-yard line. And taking it out of the end zone was Eli Manship, the 6'1 junior.
Decent return there and giving Eastern Hancock fairly decent field position, and we'll see what they can do on their first offensive series here.
Well, this is a team last week that really struggled with the run. Again, that's been a large part of their success early on in this season, but were held to only 57 yards on the ground in that game against Centerville. They did throw for 202, so they did make do in the air during that time. But again, fell up short, just 3 points short in that game against Centerville By the way, Centerville, the Bulldogs, a conference, or I should say sectional opponent. Ball caught out near the 35-yard line, making it out to the 39. And it was Caden Rubble, the preseason All-State honoree, on the tight end, making the catch.
You can see Eastern Hancock rather hurry up to the line here.
Second down and a yard. Here's the snap. He'll throw it. Once again, Rubble on the reception, but this time he doesn't make it to the first down marker. He made it back to the line of scrimmage.
Good stop there for the Heritage defense, and now a third down here. Boy, if Heritage can force a 3-and-out here, they will force Eastern Hancock to put their defense right back out on the field.
Well, the quarterback, Elijah Eaton, trying to not make that happen, although he didn't really have to do anything because the Eagles jump off sides.
Yeah, unfortunate right there, mistiming the snap count and giving Eastern Hancock a first down here.
Tough break for Heritage Christian's defense. All they needed was one more defensive stop, and they would have been able to force a 3-and-out. But a new set of downs for Eastern Hancock, and after a shaky start, Elijah Eaton will try to steady the ship. First down and 10 from the 44. Eaton takes the snap, will roll out to his right, launches a pass downfield. It's up for grabs. He controlled it. Is it a catch? Yes, it's a catch. Eli Manship on the reception inside the 25-yard line, and all of a sudden the Royals, who look like they might have gone 3-and-out, are knocking on the door of the red zone.
Now what a throw here, and a great pass to where only his receiver could get it. Great play there by Eastern Hancock.
They mark it at the 21, and now we'll have another whistle.
I think they just jumped again.
They did. Already 2 offsides penalties called on Heritage Christian. And not the defensive start that the Eagles were looking for, and Eastern Hancock gladly going to take those extra 5 yards.
Already in the red zone here on their first drive.
1st and 5 from the 17. In the handoff, up the middle, on the run. That was Evan Wheeler, the back. He's ran for 100 yards 8 times in his career, 200-plus yards 4 times. He already has a 200-yard game this season. Only ran for 21 against Centerville this past week. Part of the ground game that did not have a lot of success against the Bulldogs. He'll get the handoff here. He has a block, gets to the end zone, and just like that, Eastern Hancock gets on the board. And we have a tie ball game early on here from Indianapolis.
I think we might be in for a shootout here tonight, Cruz, with these first 2 drives or any indication here. Great play there, dodging the defense there and getting a touchdown as you see it right here. So he just eludes the defense right there and sees nothing but green after that. Touchdown, Eastern Hancock.
Evan Wheeler from some 17 yards out puts the first 6 on the board for Eastern Hancock, and now he will attempt to put an additional point on the board with the PAT. Snap back, Wheeler puts a boot into it, and it's right down the middle. Tie ball game, 2 possessions, 2 scores, 1 for each team. Heritage Christian struck first, Eastern Hancock with their rebuttal, and the Eagles will try to strike back when we come back to Indianapolis here on IndianaSRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Welcome back to Outline Backfield here at Heritage Christian High School. 2 possessions for both of these teams, a score apiece. It was Noah Dearman who got the touchdown for the Eagles. Eastern Hancock strikes back with Evan Wheeler from 17 yards out. A bit of an interesting setup here on the kickoff. Evan Wheeler approached it, didn't kick it. And now they'll go onside. It bounces and is recovered out near the 40-yard line. Interesting call by Eastern Hancock.
Trying a little trickery here. Got too big of a bounce there, and as you look at it again here, tried a little trickery here. Even fooled us here in the studio here. Just got a little bit too big of a bounce there. I think they were more than they were hoping for, and Heritage Christian's going to start at the 40.
Evan Wheeler and Luke Manship combining there on the onside kick. And so that will be where Heritage Christian will set up shop at the 40-yard line. On their last possession, they marched 58 yards from just 2 yards further downfield for their first score of the game. Man in motion, Andrew Sloan. Here's the snap. Nix holding on to it and is brought down just shy of the 50-yard line on the stop. Eli Manship, the wide receiver who doubles as a defensive back there on the stop in the secondary.
Nice play by Nix on a design run there, giving him 7 yards. First down already up near midfield for Heritage.
Second and short. Nix under center. He'll take it himself. Gets a quick burst through the line. He's wrapped up and taken down right at midfield. But a nice quarterback sneak by Eli Nix.
We saw he was the second leading rusher here, having that dual threat quarterback here, and he's showing you why he's a dual threat quarterback so far in this game.
He got out to the 51, 1st and 10. Nix rolls out, looks downfield, ball caught, Sloan on the reception. He gets exactly 10, and it'll be another first down.
Heritage Christian marching right down the field here on this drive. Looks like they're actually going to mark him a yard short here. I thought he had the first down as well.
So it'll be 2nd and 1 from the 40. They have to get to the 39. Already 3 plays in. And the Eagles have moved to 20 yards. Nix under center. He's got 2 backs. He'll take it himself once again. Sneaking his way in for the first down. Gets out to about the 37, maybe the 36. We'll see where they spot him. They're going to say the 37. That's a gain of 3.
Already the 5th carry for the quarterback Nix in this first quarter, and we're not even halfway through the quarter yet.
Well, both of these teams off to quick starts offensively, and you can see just how much they rely on the run game. That's something that we talked about. Both of these teams love the attack on the ground, and so far we've seen a lot of that, although it is worth mentioning Eastern Hancock picked up a large chunk of yardage on their touchdown drive via the pass. Nix will set up to pass. Standing in the pocket, launches a pass downfield and through the hands of his intended receiver, Tyson Powles.
Possibly may have gotten rid of that a little bit earlier than he wanted to and overshot his receiver there because the defense was coming there.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. They'll have to get down to the 27-yard line. Nix ready to break the huddle. He's looked cool, calm, and collected so far in the limited time we've seen him today. Under center. Snaps it, pitches it back. Isaac Pimentel out to the left side. Tries to stiff arm his way out towards the 30-yard line, but gets tripped up on the far side as Gavin Bowman there on the stop.
Looked like he was going to have room there, but the Eastern Hancock quickly there to stop him defensively, and now an important 3rd down here. I think only the 2nd 3rd down Heritage Christian's faced so far.
They converted on their first 3rd down attempt on their last drive. Of course, which ended up being a scoring drive for the Eagles. They'll be challenged right here once again. A couple of receivers split out to the near side. They need 6 yards. Nix in the pocket. Throws upfield. Caught it Sloan at the 25. Tried to turn the corner but couldn't do so. However, that's a first down for the Eagles, and they keep the chains moving.
Again, Nick sees his receiver there and gets it done, and again, driving near the red zone for Heritage Christian on this 2nd drive.
Approaching the 5-minute mark. The Eagles moving the chains. 2 for 2 so far on 3rd down conversions. They have a fresh set of downs from the 24. Their opening drive saw them march 58 yards. Noah Dearman in for the touchdown. Gave up a touchdown to Eastern Hancock. Nix spinning and is dragged down just shy of the 20.
Nix picking up a couple more there. He's doing a lot of this first quarter offense all by himself, passing and running here.
Second and 7. Isaac Pimentel the back. Quick pass out to the near side. Sloan on the reception. Can't escape the tackle, but does get positive yardage. Garrett Shaw there on the stop.
I believe I saw a flag go down.
We'll see what the verdict is. This might be coming back.
An illegal block.
That'll move Heritage Christian backwards on what has been a solid drive so far. This will move him back beyond the 30.
What a big penalty that is. You were looking at a first down in the red zone, but now instead here you're looking at what are we going to have here? 33-yard line.
They have to make it down to the 14. It'll be 19 yards on first down. I should say second down. Trips out to the far side. Isaac Pimentel still in the game. We have not seen his brother Elijah yet. Nix upfield. Ball's incomplete. Noah Dearman there to try to make the reception, but he couldn't hang on to it as he went to the ground.
Great effort there by Dearman, just a little bit out of his reach here. And now you got a 3rd and 19 here, and that penalty also probably kicked them out of field goal range as well. So you have to wonder if this is 4-down territory from here.
So far, penalties have really hurt Heritage Christian so far today. That was their first offensive penalty we've seen, but their defense has jumped off sides twice. They potentially had Eastern Hancock in a 3-and-out situation, but before they could play the 3rd down, they jumped off sides and gave them a free first down and ended up being a scoring drive for the Royals. Under 4 minutes. Nick steps up. Looking downfield, he'll just take it himself and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Great job there by the Eastern Hancock defense. Just absolutely nothing for Nix there. And now decision time for Coach Ray here.
So they don't convert on 3rd down. We'll see what the play call is. Nix, the quarterback, still waiting over by the near sideline. You can see him at the bottom of your screen. And they're going to call a timeout. So Kyle Ray wants to talk things over. We'll do the same here on Indiana SRN. We'll return right after this break. 4th and 19 coming up for Heritage Christian.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Back it out, line back field on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Heritage Christian hosting Eastern Hancock. With 3:54 to go, it's 4th and long, and it seems as though Heritage Christian's going to go for it. 5 receivers, Eli Nix alone. Pressure coming. He spirals one downfield, and it's strong, incomplete. And the Eagles turn it over on downs.
Turn it over on downs there. Kind of in that no man's land in the field. There wasn't much you could do there. So Coach Ray says, hey, might as well take a shot. And it was almost effective there. But now they're going to give the ball up to Heritage or Eastern Hancock. Do have a bit of a surprising score in one of our SRN games. New Pal out to a 20-0 lead on Mount Vernon in the first quarter.
Talk about a quick start.
Definitely.
Both of these teams got off to quick starts, but the pace is slowed down over the course of the last drive for Heritage Christian. And now Eastern Hancock will have their second stab at things offensively. Elijah Eden, the quarterback. Pressure shown. He's got plenty of time. He'll roll out. He has an angle. He'll take the angle out to the sideline, going towards the sticks. Might have been just short.
You can see Heritage looked like they were going to bring the blitz right there, but great job by Eastern Hancock to answer it, get the blocking, and give Eden, they're going to give him a first down here.
They gave it to him. Elijah Eden running for the first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 45. 11 to 12 yards on that gain right there from the quarterback. Eden awaiting the snap. He's going to keep it himself, but he gets swallowed up in the backfield. There on the stop for Heritage Christian, Sam Utzig getting into the backfield and making that tag a great read.
Great job there by Utzig getting through the offensive line, reading that snap count perfectly. 2-yard loss.
Utzig had 11 tackles this past weekend against Guerin Catholic. And he gets his first one right there. 2nd and 12. And another penalty. Cole Hunt jumping off sides.
That's the third time Heritage Christian has jumped off sides there.
And so that will move Eastern Hancock just 6 yards shy of the line to gain. I should say 7. It's now 2nd and 7 from the 48. Penalties continue to be a pain in the Eagles' side. Throw up the middle, intercepted. Eagles have the football. Nick Dearman on the interception. And while penalties have berated this team so far, their defense steps up big and gets the football back.
You're going to look at here, Eden thought he saw his receiver. I don't think he saw that defender right there, and it leads to a Heritage Christian interception. Great answer defensively.
So the Eagles have the football, just barely in their own territory. 47-yard line. And after a frustrating end to their last drive, they're going to get another look at it. Eli Nix back on the field under center. Rolling out, has a man downfield. Sloan on the reception, gets about 6 or 7 yards right there. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 46. Let me get a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3 upcoming.
And Nix finding Sloan right there, and already on one play drives it to the Eastern Hancock side of the field.
Well, so far today, both of these teams have scored on their opening drives. Then a turnover on downs for Heritage Christian, and Eastern Hancock ending that possession with an interception. For Elijah Oden, that's his 19th of his career, already the 3rd on the season through 3 games. Nix keeps it himself, gets tripped up, gets barely past the 45-yard line, might have gotten an additional yard or 2.
Gave him the first down there.
Right at the marker. So 1st down and 10 coming for Heritage Christian. So far this game has been competitive. Both of these teams showcasing their offenses as well as their defenses early on in the first quarter. Screen pass, dangerous pass, it's dropped. Noah Dearman, the intended receiver, almost threw that one into trouble. And after just receiving an interception, Heritage Christian almost gives it right back up.
It may have been, Heritage Christian very fortunate that was incomplete because the defender was right there.
2nd and 10. High snap. Nix evading capture so far, but he doesn't get very far. Might have gotten a positive yard, but that will be all he'll get. Pressure came from behind quickly. was able to scramble for a yard before he was taken down.
Get the feeling Eastern Hancock's really starting to pick up their run defense, because the run's basically what's been beating them here in this first quarter, and they faced a 3rd and long here, or have Heritage Christian in a 3rd and long.
3rd and 11. They have to get down to the 33-yard line. They sit at the 44. Two backs out alongside Eli Nix. Quick snap. Looking left, up the field. Caught just short of the marker. 2 yards to go. Noah Dearman on the catch. Now, do you go for it if you're Heritage Christian?
You saw him go for it on 4th and 19 on the last drive. I don't think there's any question the offense is going to be staying out right here.
You see Eli Nix, the quarterback, on the lower left corner of your screen. They're going to keep the offense out there. John, I think you're exactly right. If you go for it on 4th and 19, you got to go for it on 4th and 2. Approaching 60 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Nix under center. Sloan has a handful of receptions already. He's at the bottom of your screen. Pressure coming. Gets rid of it and deflected away. A second straight turnover on downs for the Eagles. And the Royals defense comes up with a big-time defensive stop.
Great job there. And again, Eastern Hancock forces an empty drive for Heritage Christian. 2 great defensive stops in a row.
So the Royals offense will take the field once again. Elijah Idden back on the field after throwing his 3rd interception of the game. I should say of the season, his 1st of the game. 54 seconds until the end of the quarter. The handoff. Wheeler with it, and he gets swallowed up. Loss of about 2 yards right there, as the clock will continue to run.
Heritage Christian brought the house right there, and mission accomplished on 1st down defensively. Loss of 2.
2nd and 12 upcoming. Clock continues to tick away here in the first quarter. Pressure shown. Pressure coming. Throw up the field into no man's land, incomplete.
I don't know if there was miscommunication there. The wide receiver is supposed to be there or what. They've just empty part of the field. And now a 3rd and long coming up for Eastern Hancock.
17 seconds. Clock is stopped. The 45-yard line is the target. Low snap to handoff. And once again, Wheeler swallowed up again. And that will be the last play of the first quarter, as Samson Rook in there on the stop. 1 quarter down, tie ball game 7-7 between Eastern Hancock and Heritage Christian in this top 10 matchup on this beautiful Friday night. We'll take a quick step aside, return with the second quarter of action from Indy.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
You want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements, top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by the Morales Group Staffing. We're in business to create a better future for you, for your family, and for the community we share. We can match you with the right career or hire, the right candidate for your company. Call us today at 317-472-7600. Inside the 10-yard line, as Heritage Christian punted that football away. I should say Eastern Hancock punted the football away. The Eagles will have the football, and we'll have a penalty. It'll be first down and 10 for Heritage Christian. I should say for Eastern Hancock, inside their own 15-yard line, they'll start at the 12.
They're giving Heritage Christian the ball back here.
Oh, they are. They sure are. So Heritage Christian with the football now. Inside the red zone, 12 yards out. From the 12, Nix takes the snap. Looks to the far corner of the end zone. Dearman right there, but couldn't grab it.
Even though that was an incomplete pass, you like what Nick saw there. They saw it was wide receiver was covered, so made sure he threw it out of bounds, not risk an interception there.
Second and 10 from the 12. Heritage Christian with the football inside their own 15-yard line. Isaac Pimental, the back, takes the snap. Nix with it. Running, trying to turn the corner, takes a nice hit as he goes out of bounds. Eli Manship there on the stop for the Royals. Pair of 14s colliding down at the 6.
So you're inside the 10-yard line here. Let's see if Coach Ray is going to play this as 4-down territory, or it's going to be a very interesting play call on 3rd down and 5.
Eli Nix gets the call. We'll run out to the huddle. 3rd down and 5. They have to get down to the 2. Noah Dearman, the lone receiver, out to the near sideline. You can see him at number 13 in black on your screen. Pair of receivers to the far side as well. Nix snaps it. Looking to the end zone. It's caught. Sloan on the catch. He collides with an official. He's in. Touchdown, Heritage Christian. Andrew Sloan on the reception.
I thought I saw him get the ball across, and then when the official got hit. But yeah, touchdown, Heritage Christian. Great job on that drive. You look at it again here. As you see, Nix finds Sloan right there in the end zone. Ball across, touchdown.
Touchdown number 2 on the year for Andrew Sloan. And the Heritage Christian Eagles have taken a 13-7 lead. Yeah, do a little dance there, Andrew Sloan. You've earned it. You got the ball to the end zone, and you've given your team a 13-7 lead. Now Isaac Pimental will try to make it 14-7, and he does just that. 14-7, Heritage Christian on top of Eastern Hancock with 11:32 to go here in the second quarter. We'll return on IndianaSRN right after this break.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Boilermaker Local 374. Boilermakers Local 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in the field, construction, and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. When you need a safe, dependable workforce for a new build, an upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Boilermakers Union Local 374 to do the job right the first time.
So you saw the bad snap on the punt there is what led Heritage Christian to continue that drive, and they take advantage with that touchdown.
It was Andrew Sloan on the reception from 7 yards out. And now Eastern Hancock will try to respond from the 6. And they don't get very far. Eaten up. Garrett Shaw was there to return, and he gets out to about the 20-yard line. This will be the longest drive of the day for either one of these teams upcoming.
And a worse starting field position here for Heritage, or for Eastern Hancock rather, and see if the defense, see if that lit a fire under the Heritage Christian defense here as they look a little fired up on that special teams defense.
80 yards separating Eastern Hancock from tying this game up. Both of these teams opened the game with touchdown drives. First, it was Heritage Christian who won the coin toss and elected to receive the kickoff. Then Heritage Christian struck right back, marching 70 yards for their own score. That pass incomplete. Intended receiver, Caden Rubble, the tight end.
Great coverage there. Even if on a completed pass, that was going nowhere. And it'll be second down here for Eastern Hancock.
Well, a couple of mistakes already from Eastern Hancock. First, it was the interception. Then it was the muffed kick that allowed Heritage Christian to take over inside their own 15-yard line that resulted in a touchdown. Still a lot of game to go, but some rust. Pitch out to the near sideline. Trying to run forward for Eastern Hancock. Still gaining some positive yardage was Garrett Shaw. He's able to stretch his way past the 25-yard line. Gain of about 6 or 7.
Shaw was not going to be denied there right when it looked like he was going to be brought down for a 2-yard loss. He turned that into a respectable 5-yard gain there. But third down here for Eastern Hancock.
Third down yet manageable for the Royals. Elijah Eden getting the call. Shaw still the back. 4 receivers as well. Here's the snap. Eden steps up and gets wrapped up and taken down. 2 Eagles right there on the stop. Sam Utzik there, one of the players. Alongside Cormac Lemons.
Best case scenario there for Heritage Christian. You get the touchdown and then you force a 3-and-out on defense. And another update from the New Pal, now 35-0 over Mount Vernon in the second quarter.
Fourth down and 6. Wheeler set to kick this one away. Low snap. It's blocked. Up in the air. Ball received at the 30-yard line. And great field position upcoming for Heritage Christian.
You get the touchdown, then you get 3-and-out, and then you get a block punt here as we take a look at it. Untouched getting to that block, and Heritage Christian's going to be at the 30-yard line of Eastern Hancock on this drive.
Cole Hunt making up for that offsides penalty he received earlier in the game. He gets his hands on that ball, and the Eagles will take over 33 yards out from the end zone. Nix awaiting the snap. 2 backs there with him. Play action. Sets up in the pocket. It collapses in on him, and down goes Nix. About a loss of 4 or 5 yards right there. And not an ideal start to this possession with ideal field position.
A very big first down stop there for Eastern Hancock, as you could see the momentum starting to switch here towards Heritage Christian. But a nice 5-yard loss there on that sack on first down.
It feels as if right now Eastern Hancock is back up against the ropes right now. They get a little bit of help right there on that sack. Man in motion, it's Dearman. Nix out to the right side, finds him, slips, reaching for the sticks, and he has it. No, they're going to mark him short. And it's close, too. Centimeters. Oh, excuse me. Still 10 yards to go. I'm looking at the wrong sticks. We'll see that on Awful Broadcasting later tonight on Twitter.
This is still, you get the idea, they got 2 chances to get 10 yards here because this is another, you figure, 4-down territory right here for Eastern, or for Heritage Christian.
You'd have to think. Nix under center. Danger. Pementhal able to escape. trying to turn the corner, bursts ahead down to the 25-yard line. Gets about half the distance that they needed, maybe a little bit more.
Heritage Christian very, very fortunate right there. If you look at the replay, it looked like a...
Give him a little bit more than half the distance. Third down and roughly 3 yards.
Like almost a mishandle of the snap, and very, very fortunate to pick up 7 yards there.
Whistle blows. Timeout called by Heritage Christian. IndianaSRN is brought to you by Passion to Care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. As a prestige healthcare company, Passion to Care is driven by decades of expertise and a drive to go above and beyond. Call us today at 317-537-1811. IndianaSRN is also brought to you by Make a Difference. Help us put more student athletes on TV by logging on to IndianaSRN.org and directing your donation to a specific school or hit the donate button. More games, more opportunities for our kids. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. 8:24 to go here in the second. Heritage Christian approaching the red zone. And, John, so far it's been all Heritage Christian. Eastern Hancock trying to push back.
Eastern Hancock here, you have a very important fourth down of this game because you get the feeling, even though it's only 14-7, if you get the feeling the way this game is turning from the big offensive start, that Eastern Hancock cannot afford to go down 2 scores here. So it's a very important fourth down stop needed here for Eastern Hancock.
Fourth down and 3 yards to go. They have to get down to the 23. They sit at the 26. A blocked punt put the Eagles in this position. Nix caught. Dearman down at the 17-yard line. It's enough for a first down. And it's the first fourth down conversion that was successful for Heritage Christian in 2 attempts.
It finds his receiver Dearman there, knowing what he needed, and in the red zone again for Heritage Christian.
Nix the handoff. Isaac Pimental trying to find a read, but doesn't have anything. He is eaten up by that Royals defense.
Eastern Hancock's really, really picked up the run defense here, making Heritage Christian beat them on the passing game so far. Pimental's been very, very limited his last few carries.
Approaching 7.5 to go. Here from outline backfield. Inside the red zone are the Eagles. On their 5th possession, they've scored on 2 of them. The other 2 times, they have turned it over on downs. Nix, pressure, rolls out, rifles a pass over the middle. Dearman on the reception down near the 11. Taken to the ground by Ethan Snipes.
Again at the 10-yard line. Nix now 11 for 17 throwing in this first half, so been pretty efficient throwing the ball here.
And that's something that neither one of these teams is too terribly used to. They love the ground attack. And so far, Heritage Christian's passing game has looked extremely solid so far. Be 3rd down and 3. Fifth third down situation facing the Eagles so far. Nix, play action. He'll hang on to it. Up the middle of the field, diving for the end zone. Touchdown. No, they're going to mark him short.
I thought he was across 2 there, but he was going to be down.
It seemed as though he kept his leg off the ground. They aren't going to give it to him.
Right at the 1-yard line, they're marking it.
Nix under center. He might take it himself. That's what he'll do, pushing the pile forward. And there's no doubt he's in this time. He has the football. He has the sign. Touchdown, Heritage Christian.
Yeah, no question on that one. And Nix finishing off the drive himself, and now it is that 2-score lead now for Heritage Christian. Going to look at Nix finish it off right here, just with the strength, taking it that extra yard. 3rd touchdown of the half for Heritage Christian.
Eastern Hancock falling behind. Mistakes have continuously hurt the Royals so far today. First it was the interception. This time a punt block. Pimental on the kick. And that one's pure. 21-7, Heritage Christian on top of Eastern Hancock. We'll take a step aside and return on the other side of this break here on IndianaSRN.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper Logistics have consistently been the trusted allies for all your inventory management, warehouse fulfillment, and transportation needs. We stand as your comprehensive logistics partner. Ride with us. Call us today at 317-396-1023. 21-7 the score. Eastern Hancock behind the Heritage Christian Eagles. 5 possessions for the Eagles, 3 of them touchdowns. And the quarterback, Eli Nix, from 1 yard out, putting Heritage Christian up 2 scores from the 6. Shaw out to the left side. Shaw gets a block, stiff arms a man, and runs out of bounds at the 35. A good return from Garrett Shaw as Eastern Hancock tries to scrape the bottom of the barrel for any momentum that they can find.
Good job there by Shaw, giving his team great field position here. And I know we're still only here in the second quarter, but you look at where the game's at right now and how you sense the tide kind of turning, you get the feeling this might be a must-score drive here for Eastern Hancock.
They've thrown an interception. They've had a punt blocked. They've also muffed a punt inside their own 15-yard line. Needless to say, it has been far from smooth sailing for this Eastern Hancock Royals football team. But like you said, John, still a lot of game to go. They can turn things around in an instant. Pass caught. Rubble on the reception, finding his way across midfield, down towards the 40. And that was your first momentum play that you were talking about, John, during the break. Eastern Hancock able to move across midfield.
Look at the strength right here, turning a 12-yard gain into about a 20-plus yard gain with the strength, dragging the tacklers for about an extra 7 yards after the catch.
23 yards on the reception. First down and 10 from the 42. Eden looks back over to the sideline. Evan Wheeler is back right there alongside him. He's got a plethora of receivers to look at as well. Eden, flag flies up the field and picked off. It's picked off, but the whistles are going to blow this play dead.
I think they're calling the defender out of bounds there as well. We'll see what the flag is.
Nick Dearman's feet were awfully close to that white chalk. He already has an interception so far tonight. That would have been his second. We'll see what the flag is. And it's going to go against Eastern Hancock is what it's looking like. Face mask, Eastern Hancock. We'll take a look to see if Nick Dearman's feet were out of bounds as well. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it.
But being the first accepted penalty here for Eastern Hancock, but boy, is it a big one. It's going to push him back 15 here on the face mask.
So after all that hard work that Caden Rubel did, trekking with about 3 defenders hanging on to his shoestrings, just like that, Eastern Hancock moves back beyond midfield. First and 25. Eden launches a pass way downfield. Caught! Down near the red zone. Eli Manship with his second big reception of the day. No, they say out of bounds.
Out of bounds, yeah. Tough break there for Eastern Hancock. That was a great throw. As you look at here, going to Manship down the sideline, and
he didn't reestablish himself, I believe, is what happened. His feet definitely went out. He came back in bounds right before he caught it, but he did not reestablish himself. Another gut punch for this Eastern Hancock offense. Second and 25. Pressure being shown. Here it comes. Eden in the pocket, over the middle, caught. Manship gets a lot of those yards back. He's going to be just shy of the first down marker. Give him about 22, 23 yards.
Again, finding Manship. And now it's going to be a very third and manageable third, and looks like they're going to say 3rd and 1 here.
Make it 24 yards on the reception. Eastern Hancock having no problems moving the ball downfield. The problem, at least with that last play, was keeping it within the bounds of the field. That time, no question, he was in bounds. And now a third very manageable situation. The handoff. First down and more. Wheeler inside the 25, down towards the 22.
A great job here, Eastern Hancock moving the chains, and after having faced a 2nd and 25 and a drive near the red zone, a very important drive here for Eastern Hancock.
This drive started at the 35. They're now inside the 25. 4.5 to go. Eden, quick pass, caught. Rubble on the reception. Inside the 10-yard line. Helmet comes off for an Eagles defender. Nate Wilson-Smith is going to have to take a step aside.
Great job here finding receiver again. It's going to be 1st and goal here for Eastern Hancock. He's not going to have a timeout here.
Heritage Christian's defense wants to talk it over. We'll take a quick step aside, return here on IndianaSRN. Inside the 10-yard line, Eastern Hancock knocking on the door of the end zone.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
First and goal from the 10-yard line, Eastern Hancock. Eden hangs on to it, runs forward, weaving his way down inside the 5, down to the 3. It'll be 2nd and goal from about 9 feet out.
Great job there by Eden, getting an important 7 yards. And Eastern Hancock 3 yards away from getting right back in this ball game.
Well, John, we said they needed a couple of chunk plays, and they got them.
And then if you figure the 2 they had called back with the incomplete pass, that's actually a 3rd. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity here for Eastern Hancock, knocking on the door.
2nd down and 3. Eden in the gun. Takes the snap, hands it off, up the middle, charging for the end zone. Did he get in? Yes, touchdown, Eastern Hancock. Charging his way into the end zone, Evan Wheeler getting Eastern Hancock back on the board. And they have a chance to cut this deficit in half. Beautiful drive from the Royals.
A much-needed answer on the offense here for Eastern Hancock after giving up 2 straight touchdown drives. An important answer here to make it back to a 1-score game.
John Lemasters, no, they'll fake it. Throw, incomplete. Elijah Eden on the bad snap had to try to make something out of nothing, and they couldn't do so. So we'll take a quick step aside here on IndianaSRN. We'll return. 21-14, Heritage Christian up front.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Burtner Electric Incorporated is fully licensed and bonded electrical contractor for your protection. Our electricians are available 24/7 for service calls and specialize in electrical service and storm damage repair. For more information, give us a call today.
Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Dynamark. Since 1972, the Fulner family has established and built upon the Dynamark printing business in Indianapolis. Whether it's about the signboard design, mailing design, or graphic design, or commercial printing, apparel printing, custom labels, and promotional items, all your advertising requirements will be met by us. Call today at 317-328-2555.
I think that was an attempted onside that was not executed correctly there, and Eastern Hancock's going to give Heritage Christian excellent field position here.
From their own 40-yard line, Eastern Hancock does get the kickoff coming out of the locker room, but you would think that you would try to at least hold Heritage Christian and try to get them to strike out on downs like they have on a couple of possessions tonight to try to give your offense the best look maybe towards the end of the half, but instead they might be down 2 scores the way that Heritage Christian has moved the ball as of late. Pemental out to the near side and into his own sideline, knocking down one of his teammates right there. Sam Utzik taking the hit on the sideline.
Pimental just haven't been able to get much going in the running game here his last few rushes. The Eastern Hancock defense has really done a good job holding him down to a 1-yard gain on that first down play.
Both of these teams love to run the football, but both have also proven, at least so far tonight, that they can pass if they have to. 3.5 to go. Nix in the gun. Gets a block from Pimental up the field. Caught at the markers, and they're going to give it to him. First down. Chase Whalen on the catch.
I believe with first time we've called Chase Whalen's name tonight. Defender there, just a little bit tardy as it gives Heritage Christian a first down.
Heritage Christian going to try to milk as much of this clock, I'm sure, as they can while it's still running. Approaching 3 minutes now. Obviously, they want to put points on the board, but they also don't want to give the Royals enough time to march down the field and get one of their own, especially with the Royals getting the football coming out of halftime. Nix fakes the handoff. He'll run it forward. Cuts back. Spinning off of a tackle down towards the 20-yard line. And they're going to mark him short by a yard.
Nice 9-yard pickup there by Nix. Approaching the red zone again for Heritage Christian. That's one of the reasons that offensive or the onside kick try was a little puzzling. You know, you started to take the momentum back if you were Eastern Hancock, but you may give it right back here on this drive.
Nix over the middle again. Has enough for the first down and a couple of insurance yards on top of that inside the 15-yard line.
It's now unofficially 50 yards rushing for Nix at quarterback here in this first half.
Approaching 2 minutes. Heritage Christian started this possession at their own 40-yard line after a buffed onside kick attempt by Eastern Hancock. From the 15. Nix under center. Pimental up the middle. Gets dragged down by his shoelaces. And he gets down to the 10.
At the best gain Pimental's had in a little while. Eastern Hancock defense really held him down, but a nice little 4-yard gain there on first down.
They mark him at the 11. Approaching 75 seconds left. Nix over the middle. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown. Andrew Sloan on the reception. And Heritage Christian is able to score.
Heritage Christian answering right back with a short field there. Back to a 2-score game here.
See Sloan going over the middle. He was wide open. Was able to make the catch. Eli Manship was on the coverage. So now Isaac Pimentel will be out there to attempt his 4th PAT of the night. He has yet to miss. Kicks up and right through the uprights. Heritage Christian, 28. Eastern Hancock, 13. 70 seconds to work with the Royals when we come back here on Indiana SRN.
To you. Standing with us. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Back on Indiana SRN, 70 seconds to work with Eastern Hancock getting the football after they muffed an onside kick, or I guess they buffed an onside kick. Bit of a questionable call.
It's a head-scratching onside kick there because you've just given the momentum right back to Heritage Christian, gave them a short field to work with.
And they executed on that short field position. Touchdown by Sloan, his 2nd of the day. They muffed the kick inside the 10. Shaw gets wrapped up and is taken down inside his own 10.
Well, Eastern Hancock really backed up here with 1:04. They do have all 3 timeouts. You get the feeling they're going to have to do some. They are going to get the football here to start the second half, so just important just to protect the football, not turn it over. And actually, as I say that, let's see if they just are content where it's at and just run this 104 out here, considering where they are on the field.
Justice Klingerman was in for that stop. Like you said, they have all 3 timeouts. You can see that on our score graphic right there. I would say that Eastern Hancock is probably going to try to run this all the way down the field. They've made a couple of chunkage plays so far today, too, so they have the ability to move the ball downfield. The question is, will they be able to do it? They got 4 receivers in the formation right now. Quick throw. It's caught. Here goes the tight end. Rubble out towards the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 29. First down. They'll move the sticks. Clock will stop momentarily.
There's a good answer for you on first down if you're Eastern Hancock. Going in the hurry up.
Clock will resume. Eden rolling. Pass. Caught. Once again, Rubel on the reception. And it's enough to move the chains again.
Boy, Rubel now 82 yards receiving in this game. He has had a whale of a first half receiving here for Eastern Hancock.
This is a large possession for both of these teams. Heritage Christian trying to dig their heels in and get a stop because Eastern Hancock will have the ball coming out of halftime. The Royals, I think it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do, get on the board so that way they have a chance to tie this game up with the first possession of the second half. Screen pass, far side, caught. Shaw, first down and more. Down towards the 40 and out of bounds. That stops the clock.
I'm a little bit surprised. It looks like Heritage Christian's going to a little bit of a prevent defense here, and they're giving up these big chunks here on this first 3 plays.
That's what happens when you play prevent. You allow these short little spurts that Eastern Hancock has been able to record. They've made it over halfway down the field and haven't even used half their time yet, or a timeout. From the 40, Eastern Hancock marching down the field. Heritage Christian trying to dig in and push him back. Eden rifles a pass over the middle, caught once again. This time Eli Manship on the reception. Enough for a first down. They're going to mark him at the 29. And that'll be the first timeout taken by Eastern Hancock. So We'll take a quick step aside, 33 seconds. Eastern Hancock driving here on Indiana SRN.
Piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements and top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com. Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Back on Indiana SRN, Eastern Hancock driving down the field. They just used one of their 3 remaining timeouts. They have 2 left. The ball was caught. It was Shaw on the reception. He got about 5 yards. And now Eastern Hancock will use another timeout. So 5 plays already 60-plus yards marched by this Eastern Hancock team. This is the best drive we've seen from them so far today, and they need it bad.
Yeah, you get the feeling this is, like I was talking about on the drive earlier, you get the feeling this is some kind of must-score here for Eastern Hancock to get it back to a 1-score game. And as I mentioned right before the break, kind of surprised what the defense that Heritage Christian's putting up on this drive. Because you have the ball back with 1:04, and it looks like they've gone with that prevent defense. And I thought it was a little bit early for that, because I think they would have had a chance to deliver almost a knockout punch if they could have stopped Eastern Hancock back on that inside their 10-yard line.
26 seconds left. Ball at the 25. 2nd down and 6 for the Royals. I'll have to punch into the red zone to get a new set of downs. Eden in the gun. 4 receivers downfield. He'll look for one of them. Pass over the middle. Caught! It's caught towards the end zone. Shaw reaching. Touchdown Royals. 6 plays, 90 yards, and the Royals are able to strike before halftime.
How about that for Eastern Hancock? Backed up at their 10-yard line, and a 90-yard drive in less than 1 minute finished off right here with this touchdown. And this has a chance to become a 1-score game pending the extra point here.
And guess who gets the football coming out of the locker room? Eastern Hancock. That onside kick's looking like a pretty good decision right about now. They're going to go for 2. They'll pitch it out to the far side, and now they'll lateral it a couple of times. A trick play to the end zone. Oh, he dropped it. Dropped in the end zone. The quarterback, Elijah Eden. It looked like they had nothing. That was a set play, and they couldn't make it happen. Take a quick step aside, 19 seconds for the Eagles. We'll see what they do when we come back. 28-19, Heritage Christian on top.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Back on Indiana SRN. 19 seconds until halftime. Eastern Hancock just marched 90 yards downfield in 6 plays to score a touchdown. They did not convert on a trick play for a 2-point conversion. They'll kick it off right here as the ball bounces and dies inside the 17 at the 16. Pimental picks it up, gets about 5 yards right there. He'll be tackled at the 22 with 15 seconds to go.
Pimentel scared me there a little bit. He was letting that ball, and that was a live ball. As we're going to take a look at that last replay on that 2-point conversion here.
This was a set play, folks, and it almost worked out. Elijah Eden, the quarterback, was right behind his tight end, Caden Rubel, and neither one of them could pull it in.
And I think had Rubel not jumped in front of Eden there, he probably catches that ball. I think when his teammate jumped there, it got his rhythm off guard, or off balance there.
It was open, that's for sure. Eli Nix back out on the field with 15 seconds. He'll take a knee, and Eastern Hancock will have the football coming out of the halftime locker room on the other side of halftime. 28-19, a couple of haymakers thrown early in this game by Heritage Christian. Eastern Hancock fought right back, and the Royals will have the football on the other side of our halftime break. We'll return here in just a couple of minutes for our halftime report here on Indiana SRN. Don't go anywhere.
Conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid earned that solo! You saying I did?
Yeah!
Come on!
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to IndianaSRN. The halftime score, Heritage Christian on top of Eastern Hancock 28-19 in this top 10 matchup here on this beautiful Friday night in Northeast Indianapolis. This has been quite an interesting game, to say the least. Heritage Christian jumped out early, but Eastern Hancock was able to fight back before halftime. And guess who gets the kickoff coming out of halftime?
You're going to see Eastern Hancock get the ball here to start the second half. It's been really, well, not what we expected. Both these teams getting it done really on the passing game instead of the rushing game here in this first half. And we got 47 combined points here in the first half. Very entertaining first half.
184 yards passing for Eastern Hancock, 139 yards passing for Heritage Christian, who are both very run-dominant teams. Only 49 and 64 yards, respectively, for both of these two teams. What stood out to you in that first half, John?
Well, definitely the way Heritage Christian jumped out, because we were talking about this Eastern Hancock defense before the game, but Heritage Christian's really been able to solve them in this first half. Really hasn't given Eastern Hancock a chance. They may have had the one turnover there early on, but outside of that, Heritage Christian's been able to answer this vaunted defense for Eastern Hancock so far in this first half.
Wheeler with 2 touchdowns, Shaw with 1 for Eastern Hancock. For Heritage Christian, Sloan with 2, Nix with the only rushing touchdown for Heritage Christian. He was able to sneak one in from a yard out, and Noah Dearman making a touchdown reception as well. That's the scoring recap so far in today's game. We'll take a look towards the second half now. What needs to change for Eastern Hancock?
Well, obviously, you're going to have to find a way to stop Nix. I mean, not only has he thrown the ball efficiently in the first half, he's also your leading rusher. So, obviously, they're going to have to focus in on Nix in the first half, not let him beat them like he did in the first half. And so I think that's going to be the focus for Coach Echeverria here at halftime. We're going to have to find a way to somehow, maybe not stop Nix, but somehow limit him in that second half.
And what about Heritage Christian? They got off to a good start, but they did concede that touchdown late in the first half. They played that prevent defense, but they allowed some big chunkage plays. And now you're probably having to go back to the drawing board a little bit, especially since you have to start off on the defensive side coming out of halftime.
Very surprised to see that defensive alignment there at the end of the first half, and I think Coach Ray's going to be telling his team, we kind of let them get down that 90 yards pretty easily there at the end of the first half, so I think he's going to be really focusing on that defense, giving up 19 points in the first half. Both teams giving up a lot of yards, but I think Coach Ray is going to be really focused on that defensive effort. We've got to find a way to stop Eastern Hancock, especially in the passing game like they've had in the first half.
Both of these teams coming off their first loss of the season this past weekend. One of them will get back in the win column. One of them will not. We'll see what the second half has in store. We'll take a look at some of the other scores from around the area. We know that New Palestine is up 49-0 in their matchup right now. That's a little bit unprecedented.
Yeah, I did not expect that. Mount Vernon, a very good team, and New Pal has just taken it to them there in the first half. We do have a little bit more competitive game on our SRN network between Cathedral and Chittard. That's a 14-7 game at the half. So a good competitive game there. We got a good competitive game here, and should be a great second half coming up.
We have some great games in IHSAA football. We'll have some great college games coming up for you before long. Make sure to catch the action on HCAC Division III football beginning next weekend, September 21st. Tune into IndianaSRN and HCAC TV for 3 big games. Hope will take on Rose-Hulman. Adrian will take on Franklin. And we'll have this game, John Kalamazoo taking on Manchester a week from tomorrow. Don't miss the excitement and intensity of Division III football. Be there and be ready. I'm really looking forward to that Manchester game.
That should be a good one. That's a very Kalamazoo team. Manchester's must be very much improved this year. That should be a good one next week up there in Manchester.
We'll take a quick step aside and return on the other side of this break. We'll have more content to talk about here on IndianaSRN.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
Well, tonight we have terrific high school football on slate for you. Tomorrow we'll have great Division III college football coming to you. Trine versus Rose-Hulman tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on IndianaSRN. Make sure you don't miss it again. Trine taking on Rose-Hulman at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Hi, everybody. Cruz Martin back alongside John Lester. Let's go over some IndianaSRN polls. The new polls are out. We'll start at 6A. Brownsburg leading the way at number 1. Westfield right behind him, and Warren Central and Crown Point both undefeated. Also, Hamilton Southeastern, a lot of undefeated teams up top.
Yeah, I saw that Brownsburg team 2 weeks ago against Cathedral. That team is the real deal. Brownsburg's going to be a very, very tough team, 6A, all year long this year.
The official line goes Brownsburg, Westfield, Warren Central, Crown Point, Hamilton Southeastern in the top 5, followed by Lawrence North, Center Grove, Carmel, Fort Wayne Snyder, and then Columbus North. Others receiving votes this week: Cathedral, Penn, Lake Central, Noblesville, Fishers, Franklin Central, Zionsville, Avon, Ben Davis, Fort Wayne, Carroll, Elkhart, and Pike High School as well. Moving on to 5A, Valparaiso at 2-1, followed by Decatur Central and Merrillville. Those are the top three.
Yeah, Decatur Central, unfortunately, they were in that battle with New Pal a couple weeks ago, but weather had to bring that one to a halt early. But that's also a very good Decatur Central. They knocked off the number 1 team in 5A in Whiteland last week, so a very good team over there in Decatur County.
Well, there's a good look at Brock Brooklyn. It's homecoming night, wearing the accessories here tonight. Those are moments that these kids will never forget. We won't forget to go through the rest of these polls. 5A at number 4, Concord, Lafayette, Jeff right behind them, Whiteland, Warsaw, Bloomington South at 8, Plainfield at 9th, and then in 10th, Bloomington North. Those two teams meeting on the gridiron tonight as well.
Yeah, Battle of Bloomington tonight, a battle of top 10 teams. That should be a good one over there.
Castle, East Central, Floyd Central, Franklin, and Chesterton also receiving votes at the 5A level. 4A, the number 1 team in 4A, New Palestine. We talked about them up 49-0 at halftime. Bishop Chatard taking on Cathedral tonight. They sit at number 2. They're still undefeated at 3-0. And Evansville Wrights at the number 3 spot.
Yeah, New Pal was showing every deal. They are taking it to Mount Vernon tonight, so they are definitely number 1 in 4A as far as I'm concerned right now until somebody can show they can beat them. That's going to be a very tough team to beat.
Greenfield Central, Leo, Martinsville, Mishawaka, Roncalli, Northwood, and Brebeuf. Also Northview tied for that 10 spot. Others receiving votes: New Prairie, Columbia City, East Noble, Hanover Central, Kankakee Valley, DeKalb, Pendleton Heights, also Culver Academy, Logansport, and Danville.
Yeah, definitely. 4A very, very deep this year in 4A football. That's going to be anybody's for the taking right now in 4A so far this year.
I should add South Bend St. Joseph also in that mix as well. Moving down to 3A, Gibson Southern, Evansville Memorial, and Garin Catholic, the top 3 in 3A.
We've got Memorial tonight against Mater Dei down at the Wrights Bowl, taking place down in Evansville tonight on our SRN network. So that should be a good one as well.
Fort Wayne Lures, West Lafayette, Delta, Heritage Hills tied with West Noble at 7. Evansville Mater Dei at 8. Tri-West at 9th. And Mississauga Valley and Batesville at 10. Others receiving votes include Lawrenceburg, Tippecanoe Valley, Fort Wayne Concordia, Knox, Southridge, Garrett, Oak Hill, and Franklin County.
3A just about like 4A. Many, many good teams in 3A, and that's going to be a battle as well throughout the season for 3A football.
Moving down to 2A, this is going to be important for all you viewers at home. Lafayette Central Catholic on top of that poll, followed by North Posey and then Indianapolis Lutheran.
Yeah, Lutheran making that move up to 2A, but they have not lost a beat. They are still going to be right there in 2A. Very, very talented team there at Lutheran.
The Brownstown Central Braves sit at number 4, Western Boone at 5, LaPel 6, Bluffton 7, Eastern Hancock sitting at 8. We mentioned already Heritage Christian at 9. They are tied with Adams Central for that 9 spot. South Vermilion right behind them at 10. Others receiving votes include Andrean, Monrovia, Triton Central, Linton, Rochester, Alexandria, Centerville, who actually beat Eastern Hancock this past weekend. Out there with the Paoli Rams as well. Tell City, Northeastern, North Putnam, South Vermilion, and Bremen.
And we're going to look at Triton Central on our SRN network next week as well. That's a very talented team as well. And, yeah, a lot of good teams in 2A football. Adams Central making that move up from 1A as well this year.
Moving down to the small schools now. The 1A poll is led by North Judson, undefeated at 3-0. The Providence Pioneers at number 2, 3-0. And Carroll Flora sitting right behind those guys at number 3.
Yeah, Carroll, those 3 teams, outstanding. North Judson's looking like definitely the best team in 1A football so far this year.
Madison Grant, North Decatur, North Miami, North Vermilion, Triton, Springs Valley, Monroe Central. Those are the top 10 in 1A. Also receiving votes, Knightstown, Tri-Frontier, Forest Park, North Miami. I should put in, I think, Pioneers in there, Milan, South Putnam, LaVille, Riverton Park, Greenwood Christian, Cloverdale, and Clinton Prairie.
Knightstown, next week's opponent for Eastern Hancock. That's one of them rivalry games there as well. That should be a good one next week over there in Knightstown.
Those are our IndianaSRN polls for this week. It'll be interesting to see how those get shaken up. We know that one of these two teams might end up being knocked out of that top 10 depending on the results of this game. As of right now, Eastern Hancock behind the 8-ball, Heritage Christian out ahead. Still a whole nother half to play, though. We'll take another quick step aside and return on the other side of this break, about 6.5 minutes from returning here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, We can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
We're back on Indiana SRN. Cruz Martin alongside John Lester. Our director, Ben Wood, has been so kind to gift us with the scores from around the area. So, John, take it away.
Yeah, we were just talking on our SRN polls. Let's start with the number 1 team in 1A, North Judson. Yeah, they're out to a quick 20-0 lead over North Miami there in the second quarter. Bit of a shocker going on in Monrovia. Triton Central in Monrovia. We had Triton Central earlier this year, very good team, but Monrovia taking it to them right now, 21-0 as that game approaches halftime. We were talking about North Putnam as well. They lead Crawfordsville 22-14. Indianapolis battle Franklin Central and Zionsville 21-7. But probably the game of the night around Indianapolis, Center Grove and Ben Davis. It is at the half. Center Grove leading Ben Davis 28-13. Defending champions Ben Davis, if they lose that game, are going to be off to a 1-3 start this year. A little bit of a shocker there. Plainfield Perry Meridian, a 14-6 lead there for Plainfield in the second quarter. Good one going on between Bedford North Lawrence and New Albany, a 13-12 game there. Greenwood Christian, a big lead over Edinburgh at the half. Game I was looking at earlier, Danville and Hamilton Heights thought might be a good one. Danville is off to a 20-7 lead over Hamilton Heights. Next week's opponent for Eastern Hancock, Knightstown and Union City. They're in a shootout in the second quarter, 34-26. There, Knightstown leading Union City, a bit of a shootout there. Indianapolis Tech, 15-0. Mentioned on our SRN network, Cathedral and Chittard. That's a 14-7 game. Battle of Johnson County going on. Franklin and Whiteland, 14-14. You were talking about the Bloomington game. Bloomington South has put the running clock in effect. They're up big on Bloomington North, 54-25, as that game is into the fourth quarter. LaPel a big lead on Indian Creek at the half. And Park Heritage up 32-0 on Attica at the half. And a battle up there in Boone County between Westfield and Noblesville. 17-6 lead at the half for Westfield over Noblesville. Some of the scores from around the area here this evening.
Now's a look around the area. Thank you, John, and thank you, Ben, for getting us those scores as well. We'll take another step aside here. We're about 3 minutes away from the kickoff to begin things in the second half. Heritage Christian on top of Eastern Hancock. The Royals with the football when we come back on Indiana SRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Indiana SRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Indiana SRN is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is the leading equipment dealer since 1955. Passionate Care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. Boilermaker Local 374. Boilermaker Local 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Burtner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group. We're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Northwestern Mutual, inspiring people to repeatedly take action on their financial goals. Indiana Laborers District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women from the Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that built Indiana. We are LiUNA. And Indiana SRN Sports Page. Follow the sports page every day with updated news from coast to coast. Log on at IndianaSRN.com and click on our tab. Well, we're just about a minute to go until we return for the second half. The Royals will have the football, and Heritage Christian got off to a hot start, but Eastern Hancock punched right back, and now they have a chance to potentially cut this down to a one-score game coming out of the half, John.
This is going to be a very, very important drive to start the second half to see how Eastern Hancock responds here, because you get the feeling they took the momentum back there at the end of the first half when it looks like Heritage Christian was putting it their way again. So we'll see. It's going to be very interesting how we come out here in the second half. Very, very, very important drive here.
We had a bit of an extended halftime due to homecoming. Both of these teams getting loose as we're about 30 seconds away from the kick. Just a reminder, today's broadcast is a copyright production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. Let's talk about what we saw in the first half. We'll recap it for you here real quick. There have been 6 drives for Eastern Hancock. 3 of them resulted in touchdowns. They did throw a pick. They had a punt blocked as well. Easy to say that the scoring drives have looked pretty good for Eastern Hancock, but when they haven't scored, it hasn't looked good.
Yeah, they've given up definitely. Well, both teams, for that matter, have given up on the big plays there in the first half, which is something we didn't expect to see as well. But, yeah, overall, both coaches, obviously you like where you're at if you're Ray. You've got the lead. But you figure he may have wished that it was a little bit bigger lead than it is, giving up that last touchdown there at the end of the first half. So we'll see how they respond here coming out defensively here.
As for Heritage Christian, they scored on 4 of their 7 possessions. Their last possession, I should add, was a one-play need to end the half. So really just 6 possessions for Heritage Christian, scoring on 66% of those. And they've turned it over on downs twice. Those are their 2 possessions that have not resulted in scores. So far, Heritage Christian being aggressive when it comes to 4th down situations. One of them was a 4th and 19 situation that we were surprised to see them go out and try to attempt, but nonetheless, they did it.
Yeah, and it looks like Heritage Christian offensively, it seems to me that Eli Nix may have taken his team in this week and saying, hey, guys, I'm going to spread it out, but I want to be the playmaker here in this game. And so far, he's been responsible for almost 200 yards just himself in the first half. So Eli Nix has really made himself the playmaker like he was maybe expecting here at the end of the first half.
We have 2 minutes on the clock. This is due to the homecoming ceremonies. That'll give a little bit of extra time for these teams to warm up. So we'll take another quick step aside, and we'll come back with the kickoff of the second half between Heritage Christian and Eastern Hancock on IndianaSRN.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. We're at Heritage Christian High School as the Eagles take on the Royals. The Royals will get the football to start the second half. Cruz Martin alongside John Lester. Of course, it's mid-September. September 11th was just 2 days ago, John, and still a lot of painful memories involved with that.
Yeah, 23-year anniversary of 9/11 2 days ago, and a lot of us remember exactly where we were on that fateful day, and a day we hope we never have to go through again in this country. And just want to take over the SRN airwaves here to all of our military members. If any of you are watching, or even if you're not, just a big thank you for everything you do for us here in the country and keeping us safe. And, yeah, that's 9/11, and let's still keep all the victims of that horrific day in our thoughts and prayers as well going forward.
Very good message, John. Terrific job. And, of course, like he said, thank you to all of our service member at home and abroad for keeping our country safe. No matter the situation, you can always count on you guys, so thank you for that. Start of the second half from Heritage Christian High School. The Royals will get the football. They struck right before halftime with a 6-play, 90-yard drive. That resulted in a Garrett Shaw touchdown. They will have a chance to cut this game down to one possession if they are able to put points on the board regardless of what form they come in. As we're ready to get this second half kicked off, Isaac Pimentel will put a foot into this one, and the whistles will blow this play dead before we can get started. Penalty flag is on. There's been a number of those so far tonight.
That's a penalty you don't normally see, a penalty on a kickoff here, but we definitely got one right here.
So that'll move the spot of the kick back. It's going to go against Heritage Christian. That'll move the spot of the kick back 5 yards. So this will aid Eastern Hancock. That is the last thing that you want if you're Heritage Christian. Coming out of the locker room, you just conceded a touchdown, and now you give 5 free yards to Eastern Hancock. Both of these teams love the run. Both of these teams held under 65 yards rushing in the first half. Eastern Hancock held under 50. Nonetheless, both of these teams still putting up over 15 points in that first half. Kick is away, bobbled, but caught. Shaw out to the near sideline, turns the corner, has some daylight, and will angle his way out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And a good start to the second half for Eastern Hancock.
Yeah, great starting field position for Eastern Hancock to open this second half. And we'll see what kind of defense Heritage Christian will bring out on this drive here to open the second half.
40-yard line is where they will spot it. 60 yards separating Eastern Hancock from a potential one-possession game. We're down by as many as 14. Right now they find themselves down 9. Back onto the field, Elijah Eden. Looking to lead his team back. Trying to make this game even more competitive than it has been already so far tonight. In the gun, Eden the snap, hands it off. Wheeler up the middle. Gets a couple of positive yards, but he's swarmed by the Eagle defense.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a bigger gain than it was right there. Nice job for Heritage Christian to limit the damage there and about a 2 or 3 yard gain on first down.
There's movement, no snap though. Close call, Cole Hunt, who already has an offsides penalty on him tonight. Just about jumped right there. It's worth noting Cole Hunt also has a block kick on the night too. Eden up the field, ball tapped up and out of bounds. The intended receiver running after that one. Cameron De La Grange couldn't make the catch.
Just a little high for him, just a little bit out of his reach there, and now a third down here to open the second half for this Eastern Hancock offense.
Third and 8 will be the down and distance. We've seen a couple of big yardage plays, though, so far tonight from the Royals. See what they have in store here. De La Grange in motion. Eden over the middle. Ball caught. Eli Manship into Eagle territory. He makes the catch inside the 40.
Boy, Manship got wide open there. Outran the defense 20 yards there, and another first down for Eastern Hancock.
First and 10 from the 38.
Sorry about that. That puts Eden over 200 yards passing on the night as well for Eastern Hancock.
He went for 202 against Centerville in the entirety of that game. Out of the gates at halftime, like you said, already over 200 yards. Eden drops back again. Has time. Now pressure coming from behind. He gets it away. Jump ball. Not caught. Manship had a hand on it. Tried to go tip drill and take it into his own hands, but he was pushed out of bounds on the coverage.
That was almost an acrobatic catch there by Manship. Good effort there. Falls harmlessly incomplete.
That'll bring up second down and 10. Eastern Hancock will slow things down, trying to get some new personnel out there. Garrett Shaw, one of the newcomers, is back out into the field. De La Grange will run back out there as well. 4 receivers, a man in the backfield for Eden.
Yeah, I hear you.
Second and 10 from the 38. Whistle. Laundry on the field.
This
Ball
time,
start.
I think it's going to be the offense this time.
That'll move Eastern Hancock back 5 yards. That'll bring up second down and 15.
Only the second penalty on the night for Eastern Hancock, so it's been a pretty clean game on their side.
The same can't be said for Heritage Christian. Penalties have really hurt them so far tonight. That's really the first time that we've seen Eastern Hancock have any sort of miscue in terms of just running through your typical stuff. Not a lot of procedural errors for Eastern Hancock, but that was one of the rare instances right there. De La Grange in motion again. Eden. Pressure coming. He falls forward. That's a big loss right there. Cole Hunt getting in there to take the quarterback down.
Well, Eden looked like he was going to break that, but a shoestring tackle. And now it's 3rd and very long here for Eastern Hancock.
3rd down and 18, an additional 3 yards on the loss. Not so big in terms of yardage, but just by the significance of getting the ball coming out of halftime to the situation they're in. I feel like Eastern Hancock's going to need a big-time play to try to keep themselves in this ball game. Eden tries to make it happen. He steps up, fires it downfield and out of the stretched arms of Eli Manship, incomplete.
Yeah, just overshot Manship a little bit there, and now 4th down. First decision for Coach Echeverria here, and it looks like he may just go ahead and punt this away.
1 3rd down conversion successful. The second is not. So the punting unit will come out.
I believe this is the first punt we've seen either team tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
There was one punt earlier tonight, bad snap, that ended up having the kick block that allowed Heritage Christian to take the ball inside their own 12. They'll try to make it cleaner here, but he can't. Wheeler's going to have to get rid of it somehow. He gets the kick away, bounces inside the 40, out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
That was a whale of a job considering the drop snap there, just for him to even get that kick off and get some positive yardage on the kick.
So the 35-yard line is where they're going to mark it at. And that's where Heritage Christian's offense will take over. Eastern Hancock striking out on their first possession out of the locker room. They have to rely on their defense in order to give themselves a chance at cutting back into this game.
And with 10:06 to go in the 3rd quarter, you have a feeling you hear Heritage Christian going out here, and I don't want to say trying to deliver a knockout punch because it's still a lot of time left in the game, but make it very difficult for Eastern Hancock.
Eli Nix back out there, screen pass, Noah Dearman on the reception. Nice juke, weaving his way into the secondary out near the 50-yard line. Noah Dearman once again on the reception.
I love what I've seen out of Noah Dearman here tonight. That's his 6th catch of the night. And made something out of nothing there, and a 1st down. Returned into a 3-yard gain to about a 14-yard gain with his juke move.
Dearman went for 78 yards on 5 receptions this past week against Guerin Catholic. He's having quite a game so far, averages 13.5 yards a catch so far this season. Caught his 2nd touchdown of the season tonight as well. Nix hangs on to it for himself. He breaks a tackle, breaks another one, and he'll finally be dragged down at the 30-yard line. Look at Eli Nix putting the wheels in motion.
Look at the strength on this kid. Eli Nix just getting it done here tonight. 22 more yards rushing. That is his 16th rushing attempt of the night for the quarterback, Nix.
He was able to run one in from a yard deep to put the 20th point on the scoreboard for Heritage Christian. And he moves the chains once again right there down to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. For Heritage Christian, who will try to extend their lead in this top 10 matchup here on this beautiful Friday night. 4 receivers. Isaac Pimental in the backfield. Dearman in motion. Nix, the snap. Out to the left. Has plenty of time. Slots a pass, and it is completed. They're going to say it was completed. Sliding in to make the catch. Tyson Powell's his 2nd reception of the night.
Well, it was close. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get that before it hit the ground, but just did keep it from hitting the ground. And once again, Heritage Christian in the red zone.
19-yard line is where they will spot this at. Heritage Christian moving the ball with ease. Play action. Nix holds onto it, finds a gap, has one man to beat, gets by him, and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
There's a second rushing touchdown for Nix tonight. Handle that with 2 passing touchdowns, 4 touchdowns he's responsible for now tonight. As you look at it here, Nix pretty much untouched, except that little right there, and a touchdown, and Heritage Christian 6 more on the board.
64-yard drive capped off by the second rushing touchdown for Eli Nix on the night. And now he'll have the hold for his running back, Isaac Pimental, on the kick. Flag flies. We'll see what that's about. Kick is good. The official's going to talk this one over. Once again, the kick is good. We'll see what the call is. This is going to go against Eastern Hancock.
They've got a personal foul of some kind, it looks like.
So the kick is good. Our score stands at 35-19, Heritage Christian. Again, the personal foul on Eastern Hancock. And so the Eagles now ahead 16 on Eastern Hancock. We don't know the specificity of that personal foul, but nonetheless it was called. And so the Eagles lead by 16. IndianaSRN is brought to you by Officially Human. Our mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and courts. Do your part and practice good sportsmanship. If we don't have officials, we can't play. Once again, Officially Human, proud sponsor of IndianaSRN. Cruz Martin alongside John Lester here from Indianapolis. 2 possessions, 1 for each team to start the second half. Eastern Hancock struck out Heritage Christian, marched 64 yards for a touchdown, and once again, the second half starts just like the first half did.
That's about the worst start you could ask for Eastern Hancock there. You don't get the offensive score. You have to punt it on your first series, and then you give up a touchdown on the first series for Heritage Christian here in the second half. Now you're in a 16-point hole, and we'll see what they can do here offensively.
This is the largest deficit of the game for the Royals in this top 10 matchup from Heritage Christian High School.
With that penalty, Heritage Christian's actually going to be punting this ball from the 45 of Eastern Hancock.
That's just salt in the wound for the Royals. They were down by 2 scores coming out of the locker room, had the football and a chance to cut it to a 1-possession game. Had to punt the football, conceded a touchdown. And now we'll see what happens with the kick from Pimental. Into the end zone for a touchback, so not the worst case scenario for Eastern Hancock. They'll take the football out at the 20.
Now we were talking about, in the end of the first half, we were talking about maybe a must-score drive. Now you get the feeling here this absolutely has to be a must-score drive for Eastern Hancock, considering where we are in this game.
This will be tied for the second worst field position that the Royals have had so far tonight, although if their last drive before halftime was any indication, that shouldn't matter. They started that drive at the 10-yard line, marched 6 plays and 90 yards to the end zone for their 3rd touchdown of the day right before the end of the halftime, or right before halftime commenced, I should say. And they'll start from the 20 here. They'll have to march 80 yards to try to get on the board again. Pressure shown. Eden up the field. His receiver wasn't even looking at him. Cameron De La Grange, the intended target.
Yeah, there's a little bit of miscommunication there between the receiver and Eden there. I think the receiver was waiting, thinking that throw was going to come a little later than it did.
So a botched first attempt at moving the ball down the field for the Royals. 2nd down and 10. Like you said, John, this is probably the most important drive of the game for Eastern Hancock up to this point. The handoff. Wheeler breaks a tackle out to the far sideline, takes a nice hit, and is tackled out of bounds. Clock will continue to run as he was inside of the lines when he was brought down.
Yeah, important 8 yards there for Wheeler. Now it's 3rd and manageable now for Eastern Hancock. You do not want to go 3 and out if you're Eastern Hancock and your defense just gave up that score. You don't want to have to put them back on the field this quickly.
Especially this deep in your own territory. 3rd down and 2 upcoming. Eastern Hancock desperately trying to hang on to that rope that Heritage Christian is slowly pulling away from them. Eden the handoff. First down. Wheeler. It was close. It was close. Will they give it to him? It seemed as though he had a window, but a late tackle. Where are they going to mark him?
I think that tackle might have actually saved them. If it's right, yeah, they're going to give it to him.
Right at the marker. It seemed as though he had a wide open gap, but it closed very quickly. Eastern Hancock breathing a huge sigh of relief as they're able to, just by the skin of the football, the pig skin of the football, make it to the marker. Wheeler again. This time he is stuffed at the line. 3 Eagles defenders there to take him to the ground.
Nowhere to go that time at all for Wheeler. Stopped for nothing there by that Heritage Christian defense.
I'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Again, this is an Eastern Hancock offense that loves to run the football. 184 yards in the air so far today, at least coming out of the halftime break compared to just 50 on the ground. It has definitely been an unorthodox play style for both of these teams, at least compared to what they've been able to do so far in this young season. Long, towering pass upfield, intended receiver Manship. Pass was going to be out of bounds regardless.
And now another 3rd down here coming up. We saw Eden 11 for 15 in that first half, but only 1 for 6 so far here in the second half.
3rd down and long situation coming up. And it's gut check time for Eastern Hancock. Man in motion. The snap. Eden, quick handoff. Shaw sheds a tackle. Gets caught up at around the 35. He's not going to have enough.
Well, now decision time for Coach Echeverria. I know you're on your own side of the field, but you're down 16 here halfway through the 3rd. Do you roll the dice here?
It's 4th down. Punt unit is not on. There's no sign of Evan Wheeler on the field. The back's Garrett Shaw. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 4. Entire inventory of receivers at his expense. Eden looking over the middle. Almost picked off. It falls incomplete. And the Royals turn it over on downs. Heritage Christian is going to be looking at some very beautiful field position on their upcoming drive. And Eastern Hancock's going to have to dig in defensively to keep them in this game.
Yeah, you give up that kind of, looking back now, you think maybe punt that ball, but I think Coach Echeverria made the right call there. You're down 16 points. I think you just had to take a stab right there.
This drive will start at the 36-yard line. The exact number that their last drive started at, just the opposite side of the field. 1st and 10. Nix under center. Play action. Looking downfield. Takes a big hit. He got it away. Dearman in the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Eagles.
How about that throw to Dearman? And how about that catch over the receiver? Well done and a great play.
Dearman, his 3rd touchdown on the season, his 2nd of the night. There's the hit. Nix taking the brunt of it. He did not faze him one bit.
Right on the money there to Dearman.
One play, 36 yards to the house. Noah Dearman with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And Heritage Christian starting to run away with this one midway through the 3rd. Isaac Pimental back out there to kick. And Nix on the hold. Right down the middle. 42-19 in this top 10 matchup here on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Heritage Christian, the home team tonight. They are all over Eastern Hancock here on IndianaSRN. Will return right after this break.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all their reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
You want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements and top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by the IndianaSRN Sports page. Wall-to-wall sports news every day. High school, college, pro sports, we have it all. Check it out at IndianaSRN.org and click on the Sports Page tab. Stay informed with IndianaSRN Sports page. Shaw taking it back on the kickoff, gets out to about the 26-yard line, and that's where the Royals will set up shop. They are down by 23 points. And, John, this is a team that is really good at forcing takeaways. 9 takeaways this year. They haven't forced a single one so far tonight.
Have not been able to get that defensive turnover tonight against Heritage Christian. Heritage Christian has done a great job in solving this Eastern Hancock defense here tonight.
Both of these teams like to rely on the rush, but that has been contained, at least for Eastern Hancock. Heritage Christian has really had their way on both sides of the ball in terms of passing and rushing. Again, there's your score on your screen, 42-19, by far and away the largest deficit that the Royals have had to face so far tonight. Still plenty of time in this game to get back in it, but the way things are looking, the Royals have their backs up against the ropes right now. The snap, Eden has plenty of green grass in front of him, he'll take it himself. Tries to break through a tackle, gets a couple of extra yards after he takes the hit. Brock Buckland was able to take home some swag on the part of the homecoming ceremonies earlier tonight there on the stop.
Looked like a design run there for Eden. Got a nice little manageable pickup there on first down to make it a manageable second down here.
Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter from Heritage Christian High School. Eastern Hancock really struggling to move the football up the field. They'll hand it off. And Wheeler gets a couple of positive yards right there. Nonetheless, moving the ball forward towards the marker. It's going to be third down and just about a yard.
Important to pick this up for Eastern Hancock. Actually, they're going to give them the first down, looks like.
They did give them the first down. So Heritage Christian gives up the first down. Eastern Hancock able to reach the sticks, and so they'll move the chains down the field once again. And although that's something that they have struggled, at least in the second half, and at least in the beginning of this game, to do. Flag flies. Eden up the field. Ball's caught inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. Caden Rubel on the reception. We have an injured Eagle down on the field. What's this call going to be?
It came over here on the flag came over here on the left side as the quarterback was rolling out there a little bit. They check on the injured Heritage Christian player as well.
First injury we've seen tonight from either one of these teams. They will tend to him as we await the verdict. IndianaSRN is brought to you by Indiana Laborers District Council. The Indiana Laborers District Council is dedicated to uniting over 12,500 workers and 11 locals to strengthen our collective power, negotiate for improved wages and benefits, and contribute to the development of a prosperous future for communities across Indiana. Indiana Laborers District Council, a proud sponsor of IndianaSRN.
We're still having a discussion here about this flag, it looks like.
I think they're also potentially waiting for the injury to get cleaned up. We don't know exactly which player for Heritage Christian is down, although from the sound of the applause, it sounds like he is up, which is a good sign. Cole Hunt, he was the injured Eagle down on the field. You can see him walking off on the bottom part of your screen right there. He just walked across the frame. And now we'll have a holding call on Eastern Hancock. And that's big, too, after the big reception by Caden Rubel. preseason All-State honoree. That'll move the Eagles back to the 28-yard line.
Big penalty right there. One Eastern Hancock really cannot afford at this stage of the game.
Royals would have been at the Eagles' own 35-yard line. Instead, now they're at the Royals' 28. The handoff. Wheeler with some space to maneuver. Trying to stiff arm his defender. He's taken down to the ground. Ethan Utzig on the stop.
So 7-yard pickup there on first downs. The second and long there, still here for Eastern Hancock.
Second and 13. 4 receivers. Eden looks back over to his sideline.
They're taking an awful lot of time here in this third down, 23 points.
Eden out to the left. He's got pressure coming. He has time to throw. Launches it downfield. Incomplete. Flag flies.
I think they're going to get interference there.
This would be a big sigh of relief for Eastern Hancock. And that is a big-time penalty on Heritage Christian. Would have been third down and long had that play been clean. Instead, we'll see where they spot the ball at. You'd think it'd be a first down.
Yeah, this is one of those rules for if anybody doesn't follow high school on a regular basis. Of course, in the NFL, that's a spot foul, but in high school, it's only 15 yards. But it still is going to be a first down at midfield.
So that moves the chains for Eastern Hancock, whether it's unorthodox or in routine fashion. I don't think it really matters. The Royals will take it any way they can get it. Approaching 3.5 to go. It's a keeper. Eden up the near sideline with some space inside the 35, tumbling down near the 30-yard line. And a good pickup of just about 20 yards right there. They're going to mark him at the 34, a pickup of 16.
Good job by Eden there, getting his best run of the night for himself there on that 20-yard pickup. Eastern Hancock driving here inside the 35.
Best offensive possession so far in the second half for the Royals, and it comes at probably the most opportune time. They need some momentum as they're in their largest deficit of the game. Ball's loose. Eden has to dive on it. And call it the announcer's jinx. Call it whatever you will. A tough break for Eastern Hancock as soon as they started moving the ball down the field.
And those are mistakes you just cannot make, especially at this stage when you're trying to play catch-up in a game. You've got to concentrate on that ball. You just cannot make those kind of mistakes.
Under 3 to go. Eastern Hancock desperately trying to move the ball downfield as time slowly ticks away from them. They'll have less than 15 minutes to try to tie this game up or take the lead. Quick pass. Shaw on the reception. It's down to the 32. Respectable pickup of about 8.
Got about half of them back there. Now very third and manageable here for Eastern Hancock. Eastern Hancock taking a lot of time off the clock here, though, down 23 points. I'm kind of surprised to see them take this much time off between plays.
Eden looks calm and collected in the gun. He takes the snap. Pressure coming. He's going to try to avoid being dragged down, but he can't. Big time sack for Heritage Christian. Jonathan Self getting into the backfield for the tackle for loss.
Elf able to get through the line there and get to Eden for the sack. And again, if you're Coach Etchevar, I don't think there's any choice here. You're going to have to go for this.
That's exactly what they're going to do. The offense stays on the field for Eastern Hancock as we approach 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 4th and 14. Eastern Hancock trying to hang on for dear life. Eden sets up in the pocket. Down the field. He's got it, man. It's caught to the end zone. Touchdown, Royals. Gabe Johnson, it was Austin Brown on the reception. And that is a huge momentum swing in favor of the Royals.
My goodness, he got wide open here. As you see Eden find them untouched, gets wide open to the end zone. And a defensive lapse there for Heritage Christian.
First touchdown of the season for Austin Brown, only his 4th reception. And now the Royals going to try to go for 2 right here. This would cut the deficit down to 15 instead of 16.
Kind of surprised to see them go for 2 here. If you kick this, you can make it a 2-score game, but if you don't get this, you're still down 3 scores here. Kind of surprised to see a 2-point conversion here.
To cut the deficit to 15. The snap. Eden has a man, it's in the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful for the Royals. The first time they've been able to do it tonight. Luke Manship, the tight end, making the grab.
Yeah, great job there finding Manship, and we've got a 2-score game. Eastern Hancock not done yet.
The Royals will not go down without a fight. It's a 15-point game. The Royals defense will march back out onto the field when we come back here on IndianaSRN.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Make a Difference. Help us put more student athletes on TV by logging on to IndianaSRN.com and directing your donation to a specific school, or hit the donate button. More games, more opportunities for our kids. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. Onside kick attempt. Who has it? Flag flies.
I don't know that that went 10 yards before Eastern Hancock touched it. Let's see what they say here.
Officials having the discussion near center field. Eastern Hancock drove 80 yards for a touchdown right there. It was caught by Austin Brown. Now the Royals, sensing their backs are still against the walls and trying to get any momentum they can, going for the onside kick. They spot it at the 49. We have a targeting call on Eastern Hancock.
So it wasn't on the kick or the 10 yards. It was on a different play away from the ball there, it looked like.
We don't know exactly which player was called for targeting. Depending on who that could be a horrendous loss if you're Eastern Hancock. Again, depending on who it is. And if it's your first unit, it's probably going to be somebody important.
Again, the worst part out of this for Eastern Hancock is you're going to, with the penalty, Heritage Christian's going to get this ball inside the 40.
And every time it seems as though Eastern Hancock has seemingly swayed that momentum pendulum back to their side, something happens, whether it be a penalty, whether it be a muff kick, whatever it will. It just seems as though Eastern Hancock cannot keep that momentum on their half.
Seem to be shooting themselves in the foot whenever they seem to be getting that momentum back. So
we have a $1:14 to go until the end of the third quarter, and the Eagles will take over on their 36-yard line of Eastern Hancock. This is exactly where their last possession started. It was a 36-yard touchdown pass to Noah Dearman. This time they'll go to Pementhal on the ground. He turns the corner, was off balance though. He tried to keep himself in, but he ran out of real estate. He would have been off to the races if he had been able to keep himself in bounds.
There's a lot of green in front of him, just unfortunately couldn't keep his toe from the white there. And it ends up about a 6-yard gain.
Gonna bring up second down and 4 from the 30. And the Royals defense really gonna have to try to dig in to try to save themselves.
Eastern Hancock, I will say defensively, has done a good job on Pimental tonight. Really limited him. He's less than 30 yards tonight.
Nix in the gun. Look out near side screen pass. Dearman with the catch. Cuts it back a couple of times into the secondary. He's wrapped up and taken down inside the red zone. The stop made by Aiden Trueblood for the Royals defense. And it's first down and 10 inside the red zone for the Eagles.
Oh, I sure like the athleticism on this Noah Dearman kid here tonight, showing it. He's gone over the 100-yard receiving mark tonight as well with that reception.
He had 162 receiving yards coming into tonight's game on 12 catches. He's having the game of the year, at least by his terms, so far today.
Eastern Hancock going to be in no hurry here.
Under 30 seconds to go until the end of the third. 15-point advantage for the Eagles. Nix keeps it, escapes a shoestring tackle, wrapped up inside the 10-yard line. Down to the 9.
Do have a flag back at the 20. It's going to be coming back, I think.
It's a holding call. So Heritage Christian, who has struggled tonight with penalties, will move back once again.
Yeah, it's the 7th of the night for Heritage Christian on the penalty count.
That'll move the ball out to the 29-yard line. It'll be first down and 20. Eagles back outside of the red zone. And if you're Eastern Hancock, you have to take advantage of this situation. And this would definitely be no easy kick for Isaac Pimental if they are able to hold them to this area. They'll let the clock run out. 12 minutes separate ourselves from the conclusion of this one. Heritage Christian with a 42-27 advantage over Eastern Hancock in this top 10 matchup. The Royals trying to dig in and keep themselves in this ball game, and the Eagles trying to put them away here on IndianaSRN.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Call him today for coverage tomorrow. 894-7000. Again, that number, 317-894-7000. Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School on IndianaSRN. Cruz Martin alongside John Lester. 12 minutes separate ourselves from the conclusion of this top 10 matchup between Heritage Christian and Eastern Hancock. What needs to happen for the Royals defensively and offensively to try to get themselves back into this game?
Obviously, Eastern Hancock here, you've got Heritage Christian pinned back here. This has to be a must-stop. You absolutely cannot allow a score on this drive here. And if you can get the ball back, you know, you've been able to punch it in the end zone here once, but it is a must-stop on this drive.
Holding called before the end of the quarter. Move the Eagles back. Nix in the pocket. Up the field. Derriman had the ball in his hands. He was hit and dropped it. He has had a terrific game so far, but just couldn't hold on to that one.
Dearman took a pretty good hit at the end of that one, and that hit, I think, is what jarred the ball loose, or else that would have been a completed pass, I think, to Dearman. But nonetheless, 2nd and 20 now.
That's one of the first defensive stops that Eastern Hancock needed to get the momentum pendulum swinging back to their side. And they're going to have to scrape any momentum that they can. This 2nd down and 20 situation will certainly aid in that effort. Heritage Christian trying to put that knockout punch to the Royals. They're ranked 9th in our IndianaSRN polls. Eastern Hancock 8th. While this would be an upset on paper, it certainly wouldn't be in the eyes of many people watching this game. Dearman does not catch the football. Incomplete. They say it hit the ground as he went to the ground with it. Flags on the field.
We're starting to see a lot more flags here in the second half than we saw in the first half.
From the look of Nate Turpin, number 73, looks like this is going to be coming back as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to decline this on the Eastern Hancock side.
This would bring up 3rd down and 20. That's a really good call on the part of the Eastern Hancock coaching staff.
Yeah, you definitely want to take, when it's a 20-yard situation, yeah, I agree. You definitely decline that and give Heritage Christian one less down. And another extra down for them to take more time off the clock as well, more importantly.
3rd down, 20 yards to gain for Heritage Christian. This would be roughly a 45-yard field goal for Isaac Pimental, so really, Heritage Christian in no man's land. The snap. Pressure coming from behind. Nix way downfield, has a man in the end zone, bobbled and caught!
Wow.
Touchdown Eagles! Chase Whalen on the catch on 3rd down and 20, and that might have been the knockout punch.
I have no idea how he was able to hang on to this ball with this hit he takes here at the end. I thought the ball came loose, but the concentration, he kept the ball in a touchdown. Wow, what a reception.
Every time Eastern Hancock has a favorable scenario, Heritage Christian is right there to remind them while they're ranked in the top 10 of the Indiana SRN polls. The kick is good for Isaac Pimental. And just like that, the advantage swells back to 22 points.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated is fully licensed and bonded electrical contractor for your protection. Our electricians are available 24/7 for service calls and specialize in electrical service and storm damage repair. For more information, give us a call today.
Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. The guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Indiana SRN is brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else for delicious food? If you're looking for an amazing fresh food and servers that genuinely care about service, you've got to try Aspen Creek Grill. If you're looking for amazing fresh food and servers that genuinely care about your service, you won't be disappointed. From the 25 out to the 30 to the 35, out towards the 40-yard line on the reception. Taking it back, Ethan Sipes. And a flag flies, a very late flag. What will this be about?
I wonder if they're going to get a late hit out of bounds here, although the flag came very, very late.
The officials getting together to discuss this one. Ball will be placed at the 40, at least as of right now. There's a personal foul on Eastern Hancock. So that'll move the ball forward off the penalty after the play. That is great field position for Eastern Hancock, although time's slowly running out on them.
They're going to be starting on the Heritage Christian side of the field here, and they're going to have to score very quickly here because you're going to need the ball 2 more times yet if you're Eastern Hancock.
Good sign for Heritage Christian. Cole Hunt, who went down with an injury earlier in the game, he wears number 51. He's back onto the gridiron for the Eagles. Always a good sign when you see a player go down with an injury and is able to return. 1st and 10 from the 45. Whistle blows. We're ready for play. Eden in the gun, steps back. Now Eden set. The snap, a little bit low. He's able to control it. In the pocket, long pass downfield. Caught inside the 15, down towards the 10. Austin Brown on the reception. He's a little bit slow to come up, but he made a terrific catch.
Great throw by Eden to find his receiver, Brown, and just like that on one play, Eastern Hancock on the verge of answering that last touchdown.
Time is of the essence for the Royals. The less that they use on this drive, the better. And that undoubtedly extremely helpful in the eyes of Royals players, coaches, and fans. About a minute into this fourth quarter. The handoff, Wheeler taking down Cole Hunt in there on the stop.
Heritage Christian defense not fooled at all. You can tell they knew a run play was coming, and a loss on first down.
That's a loss of about 2 yards right there. It'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 19. It seems like every time Eastern Hancock takes a large step forward, they take a couple of steps back. And that's just another example of it. Not the worst thing in the world, but still a wasted opportunity for the Royals. They'll have another one coming up. Eden, rolling. Plenty of time. He's got some green space. Now runs out of real estate. Nice pass. Caught by Shaw, and he was blindsided by a hit as soon as that ball went into his arms. Made the catch. 3 yards shy of the marker. And now the Royals inside of the 10.
Well, the Heritage Christian defense made sure that he was going to go no farther, even if he made that catch.
Give credit to Shaw on keeping it in his hands as he went to the ground. That brings up 3rd down and 3. It was a gain of 9 on that catch. Eden keeps it himself. He's got some space in front of him. He might try to toss it in there, and he did. Might have thought that he had a chance to run it in himself, and John, you're reacting in a certain way that makes me think you were thinking the same thing.
There was an awful lot of green in front of Eden. Very surprised to see him pass that, because I think he would, if it wouldn't have been in the end zone, he would have been definitely a first down yardage. I was surprised to see a pass there.
Questionable decision by Elijah Eden. That brings up 4th down and 3. You'd have to think this would be make or break for the Royals. They have to get down to the 2. Make it the 3. Pass incomplete. They turn it over on downs, the Royals do. And you have to think that's a big missed opportunity for Eastern Hancock, especially with the look that they had on their 3rd down attempt.
Big opportunity wasted right there. Yeah, and a turnover on downs. And now you're going to see Heritage Christian go to a big dose of the run and work on this clock, I would think.
Now the one upside for Eastern Hancock in this situation, you do pin Heritage Christian's offense inside their own 10. They have to start at the 6-yard line. So this will be, what would, if it does end up being a scoring drive, 94 yards that they have to march.
You might be seeing, considering where Heritage Christian is on the field, this might be a situation where you might see, first couple plays anyway, Eastern Hancock bring the house defensively, try to force some kind of turnover and get a touchdown.
They're going relatively thin on the line. The snap. Nix hangs on to it. Runs forward. Doesn't get very far. He might have lost a yard. They're going to mark him at the line of scrimmage. So no gain, but no loss for the Eagles offense.
Had a chance to take 40 seconds off the clock if you're Heritage Christian here. If clock is definitely your friend at this point.
You can see the Eagles taking their dear old sweet time to get back out to the line. Bemental at the back. A couple of receivers out there, including Noah Dearman, who is having a terrific game. He's the bottom receiver on your screen. Ball caught out towards the 10-yard line before he's taken down. Austin Brown once again on the catch. He just had his first receiving touchdown of the season on the last possession for Heritage Christian.
Surprised to see a pass there, but Nick saw he had a little bit of room there, got 5 yards and a chance to work on some more clock here. It is 3rd down, however.
Third and 6 from the 10. Nick's in the gun. 4 receivers. He'll take the snap. In the pocket, has plenty of time. Lobs one downfield over the head of Pimentel. And he was nowhere in the vicinity of that overthrow.
Well, that's a win right there for Eastern Hancock, because you're going to force a punt from the end zone now.
3 and out inside the red zone. for Heritage Christian. And when I say red zone, I mean their own red zone. That's a very good sign for Eastern Hancock. They can strike quickly, too, if they have a good return.
I didn't say it was a win for Eastern Hancock there, but it was also sort of one because Heritage Christian was able to burn a minute and a half off the clock there on that drive, even though they weren't 3 and out.
Not a completely useless drive if you're the Eagles, but you wish you could have gotten more out of it. Pimentel, the boot. Nice kick going out towards midfield. It bounces just on the other side of the 40 towards the 50. It will stop there and around the 48-yard line. Great effort on the part of number 53 in black. Cormac Lemons trying to do anything he can to get that ball spinning back the other direction. It rests at the 48, and that's where it's downed. And that's where Eastern Hancock will take over.
Eastern Hancock showed signs on the last drive, got within 6 yards before the drive stalled, so now it's going to have to be a very quick score here on this drive. You are starting on positive territory. Do have a final from one of our SRN games. Lutheran went to 4-0, 49-8 over Covenant, the final.
We have a wide variety of games here on Indiana SRN. We want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to our numerous games around the state of Indiana tonight, and especially for those of you who have tuned in to watch Heritage Christian and Eastern Hancock. Long throw over the middle, caught, big gain right there for the Royals. Eden up the field for Shaw at the 22-yard line.
And strike quickly, that's exactly what they did there for 26 yards.
Eight minutes and counting.
That does put Eden over 300 passing tonight.
Again, not conventional, at least from what we've seen so far from both of these teams in this relatively young season. They love the ground game, or at least they have in the first 2 games of the year for both of these teams. But it has been an air raid tonight on both sides of the football. Eden, the snap. He'll run it himself. Gets taken down after a respectable gain. He gets inside the red zone. And he gets halfway to the sticks.
Again, the play call, but you're going to have to come with a little bit more sense of urgency here for Eastern Hancock. Now they're going up to the line.
Clock still running. Now Eden looks back over to the sideline. Time continuing to tick away for the Royals. One of these teams will walk away with a win. The other will lose 2 in a row. Ball's completed. First down. Far side. Clock will continue to run. Shaw once again on the reception.
Shaw again gets Eastern Hancock to a first down here right around the 10-yard line.
It's got to be points quick if you're the Royals. That big chunk play definitely aided that case. The last thing you want if you're Eastern Hancock is to stall inside your own 10. Eden steps up in the pocket, has some green grass in front of him. He threw it last time. He'll try to run it himself. This time it gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Eastern Hancock.
Well, it looked like he could have done that last time, decided to pass, but decided this time to handle it himself, and 6 points for Eastern Hancock. And with 6:42 to go, probably going to see a 2-point conversion here.
So the Royals get onto the board. They're down 16 at this point. A 2-point conversion, a successful one at that, would make it a 14-point game and a natural 2-score game. And still 6:42 to go. About a minute and a half comes off the clock. You're able to strike relatively quick.
Now they're going to look like they're just going to kick the extra point here.
Wheeler, it's no good. Whistle blew, and they're just going to say it's no good. No flags on the play, so a missed opportunity for Evan Wheeler in the kick. That makes the score 49-33. If the Royals want to get back into this one, they'll have to have 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. We'll see what happens on the defensive side for the Royals when we come back as the Eagles have the football on Indiana SRN.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with the blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Clean Slate. Find your future in the cloud. We're a technology consulting firm specializing in custom-built, modern applications and products that deliver greater agility, faster speed, and innovation, and the resiliency to handle whatever the future throws your way. Call us at 866-885-3249. On the return, Heritage Christian gets out to about the 44-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will set up shop, up 2 scores, and a long 2 scores, if you will, 16 points over Eastern Hancock. And this is a team, John, that was able to force 9 takeaways in the first 2 games. They have yet to have one tonight. This would be the most opportune time to do so.
Opportune time for sure, but you can see it's going to be, again, it's going to be very tough here. As you know, Heritage Christian is going to be keeping this ball on the ground. You try to see them go for the onside kick there. Just never got that high bounce like you like to see. So we'll see if Eastern Hancock, again, like I said last time, are they going to bring the house defensively, try to get any kind of turnover they can.
Garrett Shaw, number 8 in white on your screen, standing on the right side of that blue H at center field. He has 2 interceptions on his career. He would more than likely be the person you would see try to pick the pocket of a pass. The handoff, Pimental out to the near side, gets eaten up by the defense. And that's going to be a loss.
Good job there by the Eastern Hancock defense. But again, Heritage Christian can milk this clock. They don't have to snap this until it gets under 6 minutes.
Every single second that takes away feels torturous for Eastern Hancock. This is a team that is ranked 8th in our IndianaSRN polls, coming off a loss this past weekend to Centerville, fellow sectional opponent in sectional 38.
And they've got a rivalry game, as mentioned at halftime, at Knightstown next week, so you never know what can happen in those rivalry games.
Quick screen pass out to Dearman. He makes the catch, breaks a couple of tackles. He's out into the open field. He's going to be gone to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Heritage Christian. 3rd touchdown of the day for Dearman. And the Eagles have just put this one away.
I think that was your exclamation point, definitely right there. Dearman takes the screen pass and does the rest himself.
Pimental coming on for the extra point. Dearman on his career coming into tonight, 4 touchdowns. He already has 3 in this game alone. A career day for Noah Dearman as the wideout. Now Isaac Pimental in to kick.
He also just surpassed his season yardage in this one game receiving as well.
Unbelievable numbers from Noah Dearman so far today. The kick is good for Pimental. 56-33 Heritage Christian shutting the door on Eastern Hancock here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
IndianaSRN is brought to you by Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar of the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. You can volunteer today at 317-686-5252. 6'2", 3'9". Inside the 10-yard line, Shaw trying to return it for Eastern Hancock. He gets eaten up at the 15. And that is where this possession will start for the Royals, who just have the door shut on them in an emphatic way by Noah Dearman, who is having a career day today, John.
3 receiving touchdowns for Dearman, but how about these numbers for Nix? 5 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns for Nix. An incredible evening for him as well. I may have just given you the tease as to who our player of the game might be in this game, but we'll wait till the end here.
Eastern Hancock marches back onto the field.
And I beg your pardon, 6 passing touchdowns for Nix. My apologies.
1st and 10 from roughly the 17.5-yard line. Eden takes the snap, looking downfield, has plenty of time. Tries to cut it back and will do so. Throws on the run, intercepted. Intercepted by the Eagles. Nate Wilson-Smith returning this one.
And I think he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball.
The officials will meet up, make the call, but if this stands, the interception by Nate Wilson-Smith to truly put things out of reach for the Royals. Illegal forward pass will be the call. And for Nate Wilson-Smith, it's his 2nd interception of the season. And it's the exclamation point on what has been a very impressive day across the board for Heritage Christian, proving that they have earned their spot in the top 10 rankings in IndianaSRN polls.
Heritage Christian going to go to 3-1 here, and are there going to be a factor here for they are in? You're going to look for them in 2A, although they do play in, I think, the toughest sectional in 2A football, but they're still going to be a tough out come playoff time if this offense can keep it up like this.
Nick still out on the field, Pimental as well. He breaks a couple of tackles, stays on his feet as he gets inside the 25-yard line and is eventually taken down at the 24. Tackle made by Gavin Bowman for the Royals.
You're going to see Heritage Christian in absolutely no hurry here at all.
Now, Eastern Hancock has not played a perfect game by any stretch. They've had some good moments. They've definitely had some bad moments. But how about this game that Heritage Christian has put together? Maybe for the exception of maybe 1, maybe 2 bad possessions, both offensively and defensively. They put up 56 points on the board against Eastern Hancock.
Against a team, like we mentioned, that had forced 9 turnovers their first 3 games, Heritage Christian has definitely solved that Eastern Hancock defense here tonight.
Nick's directing Pimental. Man in motion. Whistle blows. Timeout called by the Eagles. With 4:29 to go, it'll be 2nd and 7 for Heritage Christian when we come back on the other side of this break. You're watching IHSAA football on IndianaSRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Back at Heritage Christian High School, the Eagles with the football. The pitch over to Isaac Pimental. He gets a couple of positive yards before he's taken down just outside of the red zone for the Eagles, who have shut the door on Eastern Hancock. The 9th-ranked Eagles will move on to take on Southport next week. Southport 0-3 on the season. By the way, Southport played at Pike tonight. We don't have a final score from that game. As for Eastern Hancock, they will drop their 2nd straight game. They will take on Knightstown on the road. That Knightstown team 3-0 so far this season. They're playing at Union City, who is 0-3, so Knightstown going to be 4-0, more than likely moving in to next week's matchup with the Royals, and Eastern Hancock going to have to do some serious soul-searching. Nix on the run, breaks a couple of tackles, and is able to make his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Making it look too easy out here today. He has been in control of this game from the beginning to the very end. And Heritage Christian has put 62 points up on the board against the 8th best team in the Indiana.
You're going to look at this here. Nick's getting by here for the touchdown, and Nick's now 3 rushing touchdowns to go with 6 passing touchdowns, responsible for 9 touchdowns on the night, Eli Nix. I don't know that I've ever seen those numbers before, numbers like that before. That incredible performance tonight.
He'll have the hold for Isaac Pimenthal. It's perfect all the way through. And there it is. 63-33. Heritage Christian has blown this game open with 3.5 minutes to go. The Eagles well on their way to picking up their 3rd win of the season. We'll take a quick step aside, return here on IndianaSRN.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
You want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements, top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School here on IndianaSRN. The Eagles continuing to pile on the pain to the Eastern Hancock Royals. On the kick, here's the return out towards the 40-yard line. And on the return was number 25, that's Luke Manship. Let's talk about Heritage Christian's offense today. This is a team coming in that had run 70% of their yards compared to 30% through the air coming into tonight's game. Tonight it was the exact opposite. 67% of their yards coming in the air, over 400 total yards.
In the air, yeah. Eli Nix just getting it done in the air tonight. And I think what's more impressive, to 5 different receivers as well. So he's balanced it out as well on evenly here tonight.
Nix has rushed for 3 touchdowns. Dearman has caught 3 touchdowns. Sloan and Brown combining to catch for 3 touchdowns. That's all 9 scores for Heritage Christian tonight. And Heritage Christian will take a timeout with 3.5 minutes to go. We'll take a quick step aside, return here on IndianaSRN.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN.
Back at Heritage Christian High School. Bad snap picked up by the backup QB. Ball is incomplete. As Kincaid Zientara will see his first snap of the day, and it was less than ideal. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 40 for Heritage Christian with 3:23 to go in the 4th. A couple of upcoming games that are very winnable for both of these teams. Not so much for Eastern Hancock this upcoming week, but a couple of ones that they can take after Knightstown. And they could certainly give Knightstown a run for their money, too. Heritage Christian with a very favorable schedule as well.
Yeah, they're going to play Southport, a team that's struggling a little bit right now.
On the carry, making the run, Connor Cook. charging forward.
Yeah, we're talking about Heritage Christian. They host Southport next week, who is winless coming in. Then they do have to take quite a trip down to Madison in 2 weeks for Heritage Christian before going to Lapel. That may be a little bit of a challenge for Heritage Christian. Lapel, a pretty decent team as well.
Lapel 3-0 so far on this young season. They were playing at Indian Creek tonight. Indian Creek 1-2. You don't like to assume, but Lapel, as good of a football team as they are, might be walking into that matchup, at least their next matchup, 4-0. Could end up going into that matchup undefeated with Heritage Christian as well.
Yeah, and we were talking about Eastern Hancock. Of course, I have the rivalry game with Knightstown next week. Those two schools only separated by about 7 miles. You never know what can happen in those rivalry games. Then they host Milan before heading to Monroe Central. So not quite as easy of a stretch for Eastern Hancock coming up either.
And to end the season, they go to Monroe Central, a conference game. They play Shenandoah at home, a conference game, and then Lapel to end the year. It'll be a really tough run to the finish line for Eastern Hancock, depending on what their season is looking like when that time comes.
Eastern Hancock doesn't exactly have the easiest sectional either. They're in sectional 38. They could see Lapel again. They got Triton Central in there, Centerville, who they lost to last week, so that's not an easy sectional they're in either.
Well, this is why you play teams like Heritage Christian, though, who has looked spectacular so far today, and no reason to think that their defense won't do this much of the same, even though the reserves are in for both sides as well. Both of these teams relatively deep in terms of their first and second units. One of those second unit players right there making it out to the first down marker. That was Gavin Schultz on the carry, the 5'3" freshman getting his first carry for a first down.
Yeah, Coach Echeverria here giving his backups a little bit of time here in the varsity game here.
Pardon me, that wasn't a first down. Once again, the studio TV making it a little bit difficult to see, but it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Eastern Hancock. Pressure coming. Has to try to get rid of it, and he does so, and it's picked off. Another interception, the third of the day for Eastern Hancock that they have thrown. It was picked up by Dehan Means for Heritage Christian.
Exclamation point right there. And Heritage Christian probably just going to see them take a knee. And Heritage Christian now going to make it 7 for 7 against Eastern Hancock. Eastern Hancock just cannot get the monkey of Heritage Christian off their back here.
It's time to look to see who our Aspen Creek player of the game is. This is a discussion between our director, Ben, and John. Guys, who'd you all come up with?
We're going to give it to co-players of the game. You can't not give it to Nix with his 9 touchdowns. He's been responsible for 6 passing and 3 rushing, but you can't really take it away from Dearman either. His 3 receiving touchdowns. We're going co-players of the game tonight.
Eli Nix and Noah Dearman taking home that hardware tonight in what has turned out to be a very impressive 63-33 win over Eastern Hancock in this top 10 matchup of IndianaSRN polls. As the clock ticks under a minute. Again, both of these teams with some opponents coming up in terms of how their quality is. They vary differently next week. 0-3 Southport will take on Heritage Christian. And he's mentioned that Knightstown game, a rivalry game. Eastern Hancock will walk into that game at 2-2. Knightstown more than likely going into that one at 4-0. But again, like you said, a rivalry game, anything can happen. The final knee, and that will do it. Heritage Christian with a convincing 63-33 win over Eastern Hancock. John, that might have been one of the more impressive ranked wins that we've seen from any team so far this season.
That was, the most balance that I have seen in a high school in quite some time, doing it offensively and shutting down Eastern Hancock in that second half to put the game out of reach there early on the second half.
And we mentioned Noah Dearman catching 3 touchdowns, Eli Nix rushing for 3 touchdowns, Andrew Sloan catching 2, Austin Brown catching 1 as well. That was the scoring recap for Heritage Christian. Wheeler with 2, Shaw with 1 for Eastern Hancock, among a couple of other players who made a couple of touchdown passes as well. In the final score, 63-33, Heritage Christian, the 9th-ranked team in 2A, taking down the number 8 Eastern Hancock Royals. And that's going to do it for us here for Indiana SRN, for our entire fantastic Indiana SRN crew. Ben Wood, our director. Justin Griffiths on site, working the camera. John Lester. I'm Cruz Martin saying thank you so much for watching Indiana High School football on Indiana SRN. Good night, everybody.